Anajar and Levine Studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
I got baseball in my hand.
Yeah.
And everybody around sports and baseball thinking about the legendary Hank Aaron today. Passes away at the age of 86. I mean, one of the giants of sports, really, if you think about it. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows who Hank Aaron is, right?
Yep. Oh, I grew up knowing who Hank Aaron was. Obviously, he played before my time. But he was a big influence in the city of Milwaukee, a big influence in the Milwaukee Brewers. So, as a kid growing up, and if you followed the Brewers, you knew who Hank Aaron was.
Yeah, and then obviously on to the Atlanta Braves. So this area of the country, certainly well aware. But, even he finished up before I was born, too.
Yeah.
But we know Hank Aaron. We know that trip around the bases. We know number 715. Mm-hmm. We know what he had to go through to battle racism and fight through and persevere and perform at the level that he performed. One of the illustrious careers of all of sports, over 2 decades long. Kuz isn't a baseball fan. He knows who Hank Aaron is. My kids are 15. They never watched Hank Aaron clips probably, but they know who Hank Aaron is, So I think from age 5 to 105, everybody knows who Hank Aaron is, whether you like baseball or not. That's the kind of giant in the realm of sports. Mm-hmm. Very few people like that. See, we live sports. So we think even right now, I guess Tom Brady, I don't think has even reached that status kind of yet from a kind of an historical perspective, even though we know he's the GOAT, but he's still playing. And maybe he has, but I think we say Drew Brees, right? Mm-hmm. Or Aaron Rodgers, we kind of feel like those guys are unbelievable. Like Patrick Mahomes, everybody knows who they are. That's not true. Not everybody knows who they are. You go to the grocery store and people don't know who they are. And they're like, what? Sure. Well, those same people would know who Hank Aaron is. That's my point. They know who Babe Ruth is, right? Michael Jordan has that. Those are rare now. That is a rare athlete that every single person in the grocery store can tell you they've heard of Hank Aaron.
Yeah, so it's crazy because, like I said, Hank Aaron was super big around Milwaukee for a long time, still is. There's a statue outside of Miller Park and everything, but he's also, it's a small world, he's big in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. We're home of the pickle. Now, the reason why Hank Aaron is big in Eau Claire, Wisconsin is because that's where he played his minor league ball at.
Okay.
He played for the Eau Claire Bears, I believe they were called, and there's obviously a statue outside of their stadium as well. But the reason why I bring that up is because my best friend, AP we call him, went to school in Eau Claire, actually lived in Hank Aaron's house when he was going to school, lived in Hank Aaron's house when Hank Aaron was playing in Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
How about that?
Yeah, so, and I guess and AP is from that area as well, so his grandma knew Hank Aaron when he was playing minor league ball for the Eau Claire Bears.
That is wild. I think, JP Small Field here in Jacksonville, I think there's stories of Hank Aaron, and some are good and some are bad. I've actually tried to dive into that story, but I think because of the strong tone of racism at the time, some people have told me that there aren't great feelings for Hank Aaron in these parts. And then I've heard otherwise. So I don't really know fully, if I'm being fully transparent. But then, we made the trip to Birmingham to see the Egg Bowl and Pryor in Mississippi, and then drove over to Auburn, but we stopped through Birmingham. And obviously, I think we saw the oldest park at the time. It was the oldest park that exists. And Hank Aaron had played, so it's Hank Aaron played here. Hank Aaron's been here. Hank Aaron, people have those stories you just mentioned, right?
Oh, and
Hank
trust me,
Aaron lived in this house, right? Or this is where he stayed at the time, because it was a different world, in terms of just baseball in general at that moment. And Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp with a fantastic tweet today. He broke the color barrier in the South Atlantic League with the 1953 Jacksonville Braves, went on to lead the league in runs, hits, doubles, total bases average, and was named the league MVP as the Braves won the SAL title, this old Sally League, of course. So, again, that's what I'm talking about. This is a guy that not only had one of the most crowning achievements of all time, it was the home run king, and many people still call the real home run king because of the tarnished nature of Barry Bonds, but became this epic sports hero even after, at the time, which is still, I think, one of the most crazy dynamics of it all, where he became so beloved in our country, but at the time wasn't, because he broke a beloved record. And he was a black man breaking a white man's record who was a beloved white man in Babe Ruth.
You know, obviously, as a kid who didn't grow up around that time, you grow up hearing about Jackie Robinson and all that he had to endure in terms of racism and all of that. But, people forget that after Jackie Robinson, there was a lot more players that had to endure a lot, and Hank Aaron being one of them. And the fact that he was able to do what he did at the highest of levels, break the home run record, all while doing what people were essentially rooting against him.
Yeah.
Death
threats.
Yeah, exactly.
Hate mail.
That's even hard to, and I understand, listen, we don't live in a perfect country, and I understand that, but that's even hard to fathom right now, because usually if an athlete is going for a record, we stand by, we cheer for him, because we want to see history.
Yeah.
We want to be a part of it and say, we saw that happen. And
if Tiger Woods was going to break Jack Nicklaus's record, he wouldn't have to be dealing with what Hank Aaron dealt with in 1974.
Without a doubt. And the fact that Hank Aaron was to play at such a high level and go through what he had to go through, off the field, and in terms of doing it, remain classy, remain a guy who, from what I've heard, was just the ultimate sportsman. It's something that we can only aspire to be, I guess.
Hank Aaron is one of the reasons why I always say this. If somebody could put me in a place in time other than right now, I would pick between 1940s and 1960s and see all the greats play baseball and other things too, from boxing to horse racing to whatever, you name it. The time period, that era in sports, but primarily because of baseball. So I could see Bob Gibson. So I could see maybe even the latter years of Ted Williams and Mickey Mantle and Hank Aaron. And those kind of players play. I think, although we have we might be living in the greatest era of athlete right now, quite frankly, from LeBron James to Tiger Woods to Tom Brady and others, I still believe that was just this golden time of American sport, and especially when it comes to baseball, which is of course one of my favorites. So the legendary Hank Aaron passes away at the age of 86. So sad news, but as I say in these things a lot, I understand the sad nature of it, losing a legend, but I also think it's one of the great opportunities to celebrate a legend who made so many impacts. I would love to know this, and I don't even know how many statues he has, but he feels like he might be amongst the leaders of statues. In our sports figures. Can you even think of somebody else that might have more? I'm talking sports now. I'm not talking political figures, just other folks. I don't know. I mean, as Martin Luther King might have a lot of statues. I don't know who others would even be on this list. It's just when you mentioned a statue, I was like, man, I feel like there are statues or plaques or remembrances or things to honor Hank Aaron, maybe more than any other athlete that I can remember. I'm sure Babe Ruth will be up there. Yeah, well, and that's a good point, because it seems like now we've kind of shied away from the statues, I guess, a little bit, and maybe. Now it's more they're expensive.
No, they're expensive. But I remember, when Kobe Bryant passed, they had a big mural on the wall for Kobe Bryant. So now it's more wall murals, I feel more than statues. But to answer your question, I mean, nobody's really coming to mind. I would assume that Ali probably has a couple. I know he's got one in Louisville. But man, I have no idea.
I'm just kind of shooting from the hip here. I don't know, but you brought it up, and I'm like, gosh, I feel like Atlanta, Milwaukee, I'm sure, and other places, but places that he didn't necessarily play his pro ball, but that he stopped or whatever was. And it might just be a plaque. It might be something. I might be getting a little carried away with the statue end of it, but I just feel like it's wow, Hank Aaron swung a bat here. Boom. Yeah. We're putting a plaque here to tell you that. You know what I mean? I feel like he's that guy.
People would come, like I said, my friend lived in his house. People would come by my friend's house and say, dude, this is where Hank Aaron, played minor league baseball. We got to see this place. It's just a normal house. There's nothing special to it. But, people want to be a part of that as well.
Yeah. Well, great Hank Aaron has died. So we'll talk a little bit more about it. If you want to talk more about it, you're always welcome to jump in. But definitely one of the big stories in sports today. We don't usually start the show with baseball, but it's a little different day in that regard. We now do get back to the football. We have the NFL playoffs. Patrick Mahomes, big story. He says released from protocol. We're going to talk about the NFL games. Yeah. So good news for the Chiefs.
Not surprised.
Not surprised. I don't know how I feel about that, and I think we might talk about this a little bit. Somebody tweeted during the week. It's like Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes on the same weekend had concussions. And it's like, we just said, okay, they had concussions. And I think the nature of the story was are we so now numb to the fact that, okay, you get concussions playing football. So be it. Let's move on. Next guy up. Let's see if they come. I said maybe the bigger story after that was that we all assumed that Patrick Mahomes, 3 hours after he got a concussion or was in concussion protocol, we all assumed he was playing in this game regardless.
Yeah.
That might be the bigger part of it. Like, why do we all, like, you kind of smile at me when I said he passed concussion protocol. Like, we all we are all under this impression whether he passed legitimately or whether he didn't, he was going to pass and play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I think then takes kind of the conversation we had a little bit yesterday. It's a $500 million investment now. This is not just for one game. This is not just for 2 games. This might not just be for another Super Bowl. This is something that you better do on the up and up for, first of all, a person's health.
Yeah.
But secondly, for your investment to be good and healthy for a long time to come. So I'm not suggesting that Kansas City's kind of skirted the rules or whatever of protocols. I don't think they did. I think he's ready to go. But I do think we as kind of a sports society just assume, okay, he was going to play no matter what. Didn't matter if he had headaches. Didn't matter if he was still whatever. He was going to give it a go.
Sure.
And I think that's dangerous a little bit.
Listen, it is, but at the same time, like the Ravens one where Jackson went down was a lot worse than the Patrick Mahomes one, in my opinion, in terms of concussions, right?
Or do we ever know, though? You know?
I mean, listen, I'm saying the way it looked, at least.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what they were feeling. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, so I can't tell you exactly what the diagnosis and how severe it was. But, like, let's be honest here. The reason why we're so worried about it is because it's the quarterback position. I've seen punt returners, I've seen running backs, I've seen wide receivers get knocked out cold. And in 1 or 2 weeks, they come back and nobody seems to bat an eyelash about it. But now, since it's Patrick Mahomes, since it's one of the biggest players on one of the biggest stages of the AFC Championship game, now we got to start questioning everything, which is, I mean, to me, it's a little, you can't have it both ways. Now, is Patrick Mahomes 100%? I'm not sure. I just judge by what I saw from the hit and whether he was choked out, whether it was a pinched nerve, if you will. Like, the hit wasn't bad. And the trauma that I saw when he went down didn't appear bad to me. So I was like, at least the optics are concerned. Like, he didn't get stretchered out of there or anything like that. So I'm definitely not surprised that Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs are all systems go now, because he is one of the best players in the NFL.
Yeah, so we'll talk a little bit about the games. And again, selfish, I kind of say, well, it certainly is a hell of a lot more appealing than Chad Henne against Josh Allen. Let's be honest with ourselves, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he is one of the great players in the league. He's the face of the NFL right now. He's the star of the NFL over the last couple of years. And first of all, I think it's important to note, I'm glad he's healthy and back, and hopefully that wasn't as big a deal as it first looked, because any concussion can be a big concussion. That's the more of the story. And I just don't want to just slide past that part. So everybody will be keeping an eye. And nobody's talking about the toe either. I mean, he was kind of limping around that entire game. So that will be interesting to watch on Sunday. What kind of health status for Patrick Mahomes, certainly early in that game, will be something that everybody is watching on Sunday. So we'll talk a little bit about the playoffs. Darrell Bevell, right shortly after we got off the air yesterday at Fleming Island Golf Club. Good thing we were there yesterday, not today, given the rain.
Ooh, you're not lying.
That beer did taste good, though.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Top of the tee was good.
Top of the tee was good. I think I hit one shot that was like within 1 yard.
We
one
thought
foot
it was
of the cup.
going in.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty good.
I was almost a hole in one.
I was happy with it. Yeah.
That was you impressed me yesterday. Very
Hey,
few
man.
times can you impress me. You impressed me with the golf swing.
Okay. See, you're giving me a compliment, then you had to reel it back in a little bit. You had to watch my ego. I appreciate it.
I got to check that.
Yeah, you got to keep me grounded.
Well, plus
I
I'm
appreciate
just
it.
being fully honest. I mean, very few times do you impress me. So,
hey, Kuz, all I'm saying, man, get ready when we go back out there for a rematch one day, me and you golfing. You better be ready, man.
yeah.
I've been working
I got some,
on it.
and I haven't, but
I've
it's
been
okay.
intimidating so much that I haven't even been invited back to defend my trophy I won last year.
Yeah, that's true. I got to bring that typewriter on Monday. That'd be a good spot if we wanted to go. That's a little bit out there from where everybody lives, but if we wanted to go out there with the significant others, wives for us, fiance for you, Kuz, might be a nice little evening out. Maybe we should do that sometime. Yeah, over there at Fleming Island Golf Club. But right after, Darrell Bevell is reported. And now it's like, I love this part, right? The Jags won't announce this for like 10 days, but now we all know that Joe Cullen's the defensive coordinator and Darrell Bevell is the offensive coordinator. Can you just say something, Jags? Can you just say, yeah, we're right?
You got to go through the proper channels, Brent. Come on now.
But now,
I'm
like,
with
the
you.
reports have now changed to it's happened. Like, they have been hired.
It's official.
I mean, Wikipedia even has it on there, okay?
Yeah.
So,
well, don't trust Wikipedia and everything now, but yeah, go ahead.
We talked a lot about Joe Cullen yesterday. I do want to talk a little bit more about him today, but Darrell Bevell, what does it do for you? Does it do anything for you? Do you like the idea of that? Do you have reservations about that?
I don't have necessarily reservations about it. Like, once again, I'm pretty adamant that it's going to be the Urban Meyer show on offense, right? And he's probably going to be bouncing ideas off his offensive coordinator. So, like, when we talk about Bevell, comes from Seattle, worked very closely with Russell Wilson, so I do like that. I'm sure he was a big part of the progress of Russell Wilson when he first got to the league to where he is now. So I can appreciate that. Obviously, when we talk about Bevell, he's known for literally one play, which, I mean, hey, welcome to the NFL, man. Sometimes when you have that one play, you're going to be known for it. But obviously, when you have the ball on the 1 yard line and you have Marshawn Lynch in the backfield, he chose to pass it. Patriots intercept the ball. Patriots win the Super Bowl.
Important note on that, okay? Because I know that's always going to follow him, and I get it, and that's fine.
It should.
Well, it should, but Pete Carroll has to say. He's the head coach. That goes through Pete Carroll as well. And Pete Carroll can say, what the heck are you doing?
No, listen, I understand, man, but you know how the NFL operates,
I know.
Brent.
I'm just telling you.
That's going to follow him.
Pete Carroll had the chance to save him, and he didn't. So it was actually two coaches that let that go.
Well, true, but maybe Pete Carroll had trust in Bevell as well. Sometimes coaches trust each other, Brent. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so obviously he's known for that one play. Spent some time in Detroit. And like overall, I think it's an okay. Like, listen, I don't know until I see it on the field, until I see this offense come to fruition. It's hard to really comment on it, right? Because he's had some good, he's had some bad. And I'll tell you what I like. Actually, I'll tell you what I love. I love when Marvin Jones goes on Twitter and was like, Darren Bevell's going to Jacksonville, and he had like a little grinning Grinch thing. You get Marvin Jones out of this? Why not? I like Marvin Jones.
So do you think he liked that idea for maybe that could be a landing spot or for Jones?
Yeah.
Or do you think he liked that because thank goodness he's not coming back here?
No, I think more he likes it as a landing spot because I'm pretty sure he's going to be a free agent now. So
is he a free agent as well? I know Galladay is a free agent. But
let me go ahead and check that real quick, Brent. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a free agent.
Okay. Marvin Jones is really inconsistent, by the way, I think, throughout the year.
Oh.
Wasn't he?
I mean, it was the Kenny Galladay is the one receiver, but Marvin Jones had a couple big games.
I know he had a couple
season.
big games. I was just saying he had some inconsistencies.
I don't know. Matthew Stafford's hands falling off and stuff. You don't know what's happening with the Lions sometimes.
They had some changes.
I like Marvin Jones.
Here's the thing. You just kind of said something. Here's what I like. In Green Bay, he was with Brett Favre.
Oh, I wasn't even aware of that.
Way back, he was like he was an assistant quarterback's coach or quarterback's. I think it was a quarterback's coach.
Okay.
In Green Bay with Favre. So then he actually, part of the reason Matt Flynn, I think, went to Seattle. I might be mistaken there. I got to double check that.
Okay.
But I saw the Green Bay stuff, and then maybe I just associated Matt Flynn going to Seattle there as well. But either way, Russell Wilson became the guy.
Sure.
So this is a more important part of the story. So you get Brett Favre, he's worked with. Russell Wilson, he's worked with. And even most recently, Matthew Stafford, he's worked with. Guess who he's about to work with? A franchise quarterback. That, to me, is the story. He takes Brett Favre. He takes Matthew Stafford. He takes Russell Wilson. You take all those experiences, and you get to share greatness. Brett Favre, Hall of Fame. Russell Wilson, Hall of Fame. Matthew Stafford, maybe on track to be a Hall of Famer given the numbers.
We'll see.
You get to shape that into Trevor Lawrence. I have no idea if he'll call 3rd and 1 pass again at the goal line. But the most important commodity the Jacksonville Jaguars will have starting April 29th is Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
So I like that part of it. Because how you groom this young man, how he starts his career, the influences early in his career could certainly go a long way in dictating which way his career goes and how good it can be. And it didn't start well for a couple other guys in Jacksonville before.
Yep.
So I really like this hire from that standpoint. I'm not going to over-dramatize and say, oh, yeah, this guy's awesome. Wait till you see the calls. Yeah, I don't get that. Like, to be honest with you, if they kept Jay Gruden from a play-calling standpoint, would have been fine with me. I thought Jay did a pretty nice job calling plays last year.
To answer the question, Marvin Jones Jr. is indeed a free agent this year.
Well, there's a lot of receiver free agents.
Like that a lot.
Free agents.
Yep, and we're going to say the audio bite of you talking smack about him, so in case the Jaguars do sign him.
Talk smack about him.
You don't like him. You don't like him. He's inconsistent.
Give me his game log right now.
All right. I mean, you kind of put me on the spot, but I got you, man. Cool. So much time we got here. I can make this work.
That bed's like 3 minutes long.
All right. Cool.
You have 1 minute left.
Oh, Come on now.
I'll do it for you.
What do you want to know?
Okay, 4 catches, 55 yards. 4 catches, 23 yards. 351, 19, 28, 580, 339, 343, 896, 451, 648, 8116, 448, 10, 112, 319, 8180.
Yeah,
now,
I'll take that. Hey,
here's what's interesting.
Hey, I'll take the 8 receptions for 180 yards, please, and thank you.
Yeah, I won't take the 1 for 9, though.
That's fine, man.
Okay, here's I'm going to tell you something when we come back about this.
Okay.
I've just figured out another piece of the puzzle. That's on the way.
Okay. We got a little more conspiracy theorists?
No, this is reality.
All right. Are you telling me how Marvin Jones is a good receiver, though, again, or not?
Yeah, you're going to like this. I'm going to be on your side here.
Oh, good.
Okay.
That's the best side
Did you
to be
bring
on,
the Joe
Brent.
Cullen book today?
Yeah, I got one.
You got a Joe Cullen book.
I got a Joe Cullen
we
book.
have Joe Cullen stories,
I got a Joe Cullen
philosophies,
book.
what Joe C's all about.
Yeah. I'm not going to give everything. That's not bad. That's not bad. It's all right.
That first one was awful. We'll be back on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mostly cloudy today with a few scattered showers and highs around 70. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 at Fox 30 Action News Jacks from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where you get the lowest diamond price guaranteed or your money back.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Happy New Year from the team at CGC Water. This new year, our gift to you is clean drinking water. A Connecticut system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean water. Right now, CGC Water is offering a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with a purchase of a Connecticut Premier softener. If you're still not filtering your water, you are the filter. Schedule your free water test today and get peace of mind knowing your family's water is safe water. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Remember this limited time offer, a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier softener. Special holiday financing still available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer. Have a happy, safe, and prosperous new year. We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
If you have a specific medical problem, you call a specialist. Broken leg? Call an orthopedist. Cataracts? Call an ophthalmologist. At Prime Men's Medical Center, our doctors specialize in ED and PE. Listen to Dr. Rubinski, a renowned expert in men's health.
I'm Dr. Rubinski. If you're experiencing ED or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center has custom blended medications to help you last longer in the bedroom, regardless of age or past medical history, with no pain or surgery. In fact, you'll see results in the office guaranteed or your exam is free. Patients are now lasting for 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And best of all, treatments are affordable.
Men, if Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, call Prime Men's Medical Center for a private consultation with our highly skilled physicians. Call 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105.
Transmission problems? Call Action Transmission Specialists on Merrill Road, where you get the work done right the first time by the experts. I'm Robin Sidbury, the owner. Our techs can service all makes and models, and we provide a nationwide warranty, so you have the peace of mind knowing we solve your transmission troubles fairly and honestly and guaranteed nationwide. Call us at Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road, where quality counts. Get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Welcome into the show, a name you know. If you've been listening and watching ESPN for a long time, I know you know him. We're going to call him one of the forefathers, if you will, of sports radio, Mike Greenberg.
Thank you. Forefathers is an interesting, that's fascinating. Every day, as I talk to more people, I get older and older. So that's kind of funny.
Listen weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. in your car or stream them. ESPN690.com.
Austin Lane.
I had braces. I still have my permanent retainer in. It's been knocked out twice.
Brent Martineau.
So it's not stuck in there.
No, it's not stuck in there.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
I'm excited to be here beyond belief. What I'm going to have to do is make sure that I contain myself. So you may get a couple of things where I'm completely out of the screen because I'm moving. I'll do my best. But I'd say this first, just in regards to, the head coach search, how I ended up here. One of the things would be that I told my agent, Rick Smith, I said, make sure that they think I'm Matt Campbell. So I think that's how this has really worked out great for me. So now that I'm in the seat, I am Dan Campbell. And but I do know this, you can't go wrong with a Campbell.
Yep, that was part of my recruiting process. Love the last name Campbell. That's a strong football name, and that's what I told the powers that be with the Detroit Lions.
What do you think? Do you think after the Dan Campbell hire for the Lions that they listened to anybody?
Did you see the press conference, Brent?
I did.
Did you see the
bite
comments?
The kneecap?
Oh man, how many times you bite kneecaps though? Honestly, like
twice.
You get knocked down.
But then he was going for another body part on the way up.
And then you grab the neck. Yeah, man, this guy.
Did you like the presser?
I loved it.
You did?
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah,
I like different. It's old school, It's funny because
how he tried. I like the correlation to the city of Detroit. I don't mind that. I think that was good. I mean, and that is a city that you can define like that, right?
I will say
I
this,
think you can debate whether it's gotten back up off its feet too.
Yeah.
I mean, Detroit's still at least at last check for me. Now I haven't been a deep dive into Detroit, but it still has a lot of issues.
I'm sure it does. Yeah.
I don't know if it's come out of it is my point.
I got you. I mean, when I was there, you got the sense that they were building and they were, kind of moving on to the better, but I'm not sure. I haven't been there in a while, so I have no idea. But with Campbell, though, it's funny because when he said all that stuff and he's swearing, I'm not going to give you the prototypical coach speak or whatever. I'm paraphrasing there. And, it was funny because the Lions organization after that was like, we're ready to run through a wall for this guy. And then the wings chimed in. They're like, we want to run through a wall for this guy. And, I imagine being a player, listen to your head coach talk like that. And, yeah, it could be exciting. But at the same time, it's like, we do in Oklahoma because you know how players are now, man. And it's like,
how does this impact me?
We doing Oklahoma drills this year? What are we doing? How's training camp gonna be? So while it's exciting and it's fresh and it's different, the players gonna be like, let's go and relax a little bit.
It's actually a topic I want to get into a little bit later on today about some of these coaching hires seem to cater to the players. I'm not sure Campbell did. I don't know if there was a relationship. Maybe there was, but I think players would have that. That's such an old school mentality that it's like, okay, this feels a little bit more like 1985 than we're going toward 2025 when it comes to relationship with players. Again, I mean, it's a press conference, so let's not overanalyze it. But
yeah,
I wonder how that will be. And then you compare it to Robert Saleh and even Urban Meyer. We're going to get into that part of it, and I'll give you some examples of what I mean. It just felt a little bit different with Campbell.
So I think, how much input you're asking me did players, when I say players, I say former players, and former staff have on influence to bring Campbell to Detroit. I think there was some, to tell you the truth, because to be fair, he wasn't really a big name, right? It kind of came out of nowhere. We weren't really too familiar with Campbell, if you will. So I feel like the players that were, in these meetings, well, I wasn't one of them. I might have been. I'm not going to tell you. But the players that were around these meetings kind of had the philosophy, I believe, that, listen, you had a guy in Matt Patricia who was very analytical. Now, I don't think Matt Patricia was a former player. He's got a great defensive mind, but as far as setting the culture and things like that, he might have had problems with that. And obviously, he ended up losing his job. I think that you pulled a complete 180 now with Campbell. I think that you're going to get the culture building. You're going to get the old school mentality. And I think that's been lacking maybe for a while in the city of Detroit. So I think there was a lot of input that went into the decision to hire Campbell.
Yeah, that's interesting. And we'll see if it works. It does seem like there's a couple of these hires that feel a little bit off the radar.
Yeah.
And is that okay? Is that a good thing?
Well,
is that a super risky? Or just reports, and we all fall in love with them, that these guys were candidates the entire way. So we'll talk about some of the coaching hires that did take place. Before the break, I said Marvin Jones, the reason you told us that on Twitter, he put like a smiling emoji that he's going to Jacksonville, right?
Yeah,
Bevells going to Jacksonville.
It was the gift from the Grinch when he got like the idea in his head to steal the presents, and like his smile gets all, Grinchy, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those.
Okay, so I told you before the break, I said, hey, I thought Marvin Jones was a little inconsistent, receiver for the Lions.
Yep.
Jags could be in the market for an additional receiver.
A couple.
But, you would take.
The more the merrier.
Obviously, he's going to be less expensive than a guy like Galladay, who's going to be more expensive. More on the likes of Allen Robinson and Chris Godwin will be Galladay.
That is correct.
This will be a more middle of the road, I would say, but maybe some upside.
How old is Allen Robinson, real quick? Do you know?
27, I think he is. Might be 28.
Marvin Jones is 30 years old.
Is he 30?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it'd be. I don't know if that fits what the Jags are looking for, but the reason why he said that.
Yes. Conspiracy theorist, Brent. Yes.
The new offensive coordinator for the Jags, reportedly, was the head coach of the Lions for the last 5 games. Mm-hmm. He was the interim coach. Now, I don't know what would have changed in this time frame, but when he was the interim coach for those 5 games, 3 of the games, Marvin Jones went off for 8 catches, 116 and a touchdown, 10 for 112 for a touchdown, 8 for 180 for 2 touchdowns.
Can you imagine?
And so those 3 games, over 100 yards, and one of them, by the way, a 180-yard day.
Have a day, Marvin Jones.
He didn't have a 100-yard day the rest of the year prior to.
Mm-hmm.
And so, again, Bevel's involved in the offense, so I don't understand what would have changed during that time frame. But it certainly, as soon as he took over as the head coach, Marvin Jones had way better production for whatever reason, and it might have just been totally coincidental.
Well, if I remember correctly, because I play fantasy football, one of the best to do it, Brent. When Bevell took over, I know they were hurting in terms of depth because, if I'm not mistaken, Galladay was definitely out. Amendola was out. I think DeAndre Swift was out for a while, and then they had Mohamed Sanu Jr., and then who was the other? There was a dude, I can't remember his name. I'm not going to say because I'm probably Cephas Jackson, I think, or whatever his name was. That's all they had. Like, they had nothing left at the wide receiver position. So Marvin Jones was really the only guy. And, of course, you had the tight end as well, Hawkinson. But, that was it. So I think that he got a lot more shine because, he was really the only option. But you still have to call the plays for him. You still have to get him the ball. And, obviously, Bevell did a great job of doing that.
So if I give you this list, all right, you got the A-list guys that I would say from a resume standpoint, Allen Robinson, Kenny Galladay, Chris Godwin, but then you have a guy like Marvin Jones. Where do you think the Jags should go in free agency if they're going to add a receiver that way? Now, they could go with the draft. I think that's certainly a way to go with all the draft picks, and usually the depth now at wide receiver is ridiculous and probably is again this year. So I actually think the Jags are going to probably go draft-wise, but that'd be a young team. DJ Shark's in his 3rd year. You got Laviska will be in his 2nd year, and then you got another rookie wideout that you're leading on to go along with Cullen Johnson, a young guy. So you could go the veteran route and have at least a little bit more of a veteran presence in that room. Where would you like, if I gave you those 4 names, do you want to go blockbuster? Do you like one of those big 3? Would you rather go settle down with a Marvin Jones, not spend as much money? Where would you go?
Who are the big 3 again?
I put Galladay, Godwin, and Allen Robinson in the big 3. Is that fair?
That's fair. I would probably lean towards, because we're talking the big 3 here, so I'm probably leaning more towards Godwin or Allen Robinson more than Marvin Jones. I think Marvin Jones is definitely suitable. But I think that if you bring Marvin Jones in the capacity, he's probably going to be that, that 2 or that 3 receiver. Probably 2 receiver, because I think Chark would definitely be the 1 receiver. But if you bring a guy like Godwin, bring a guy like Allen Robinson in my opinion, now you have 1A, 1B. Right, and now that makes you dynamic. That makes you a force to be reckoned with, and that makes you the fact that a defense can't game plan for 1 receiver. You can't kind of bump the safeties a little over here because DJ Chark. No, because guess what? We got Allen Robinson or Chris Godwin over there. So I'd probably prefer Robinson or Godwin.
Yeah, it's good. It's expensive now. You're talking 14, 15 million, 16, 15 million a year.
It's not my money. Hey, it's not my money.
Is
Brent.
that worth the risk at the receiver position? I guess would be my question. Rather than, or do you go a little drop down there and then you get a guy that's worth maybe $8 million a year instead and cut that in half? And that's where I have no idea where Marvin Jones is going to be. I mean, he got brought up. So what will Darrell Bevell push for?
Yeah,
right.
No,
I mean, he's got 2 of his guys that he just coached.
Yeah.
Or he's got a guy like Allen Robinson who he sees a lot because in that division, or he's got a guy like Chris Godwin, who everybody knows, pretty darn good player. And name your other guy. I mean, listen, there's a ton of free agent wide receivers. I just wonder if a guy like Bevell will say, hey, we need more experience here. We can become more dynamic with X guy. Yeah. And will he become a cheerleader for one of those players?
Well, and that's a possibility. And maybe they spend a little less money and they don't kind of break the bank at the wide receiver position. And maybe they listen to you and they spend whatever, $8-10 million in Alex Smith to teach Trevor Lawrence how to throw a football, and he can't afford anybody. So who knows what's going to happen here, Brent?
That would be good. I'd say more like $5 or $6 million, but
you never know.
We'll see what we can get. So overall, do you have any idea what kind of offense Bevell will run?
No, once again, I understand he's the offensive coordinator, but it's going to be a lot of Urban Meyer influences for sure.
Keep in mind, Doug Marrone helped the playbook a lot too, even with Jay Gruden. Remember, they kind of said it was going to morph together their styles. Now, I don't know that's what he said. How'd those conversations go? How much influence did Marrone have versus what did Jay Gruden have? I mean, that's a common thing. So, but you kind of do feel like it will be a little bit heavier influence maybe by Urban. Urban's not a play caller, but he certainly is an innovator when it comes to offense, and how much of the concepts will be Meyer-centric rather than Bevells-centric.
I mean, it's going to be definitely a combination of both, but we always talk about how the college game has now officially, really the NFL game has officially mirrored the college game. And I think that when we've broken down Urban Meyer's offense before a little bit, obviously he's a big guy that believes in that read option. He's a big guy that kind of believes in those vertical routes, a la Bruce Arians in Tampa Bay a little bit. So I think you're going to see a little mixture. I think you still definitely, coming from Seattle, I think that Bevell can appreciate this a little bit, and having spent time in Detroit where they did run the ball every once in a while, I think that you're going to have a nice combination of James Robinson, because you can't deny him. Like the numbers, the stats, the performance speaks for itself. So I don't want to say it's going to be more of the old, because it's definitely going to be fresh and exciting, but I'm not going to be surprised if we see a kind of a balanced attack.
Yeah. I would suspect that too. You're not going to put too much on a rookie's plate in Trevor Lawrence, I wouldn't think. You got a guy who was a third leading rusher.
Ask Joe Burrow how that worked out for him, though.
Yeah, but I think that's a lesson learned too.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, Joe did a nice job, but he also played half the year because of it.
Sure. And Justin Herbert as well.
Yeah.
They threw a lot.
That's a good point. But I think they would have run more in L.A. if they didn't have the injuries. Sure. Remember, Eckler was out for a lot of that year. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't get a feel for Bevell. Like, he doesn't come in. Like, you get a feel for Jay Gruden, right? When Jay Gruden was hired as the offensive coordinator, it's like, okay, I kind of know what he does. Like,
I thought I had a feel screen passes, but what we saw, like 2 of them?
Yeah, that's a good point. But we knew the short passing game was a thing, right? Yeah. And so the fact that this franchise went into almost more pass-heavy mode, if you look at some of the metrics, didn't we do that? Like, they led the league in one of the metrics, right?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of run percentage to passing percentage, the Jaguars led the league last year in passing percentage.
Yeah, so, I mean, that didn't even I guess it stunned me that they were number one, but it didn't stun me that they passed more with Jay Gruden.
Right. When you're playing behind a lot, too.
Yeah, and playing behind. So, but I don't know what that all means with Bevell, but Bevell has had pass-happy quarterbacks. I mean, Brett Favre, Russell Wilson can let it fly, although I would say a little less pass-happy maybe when they were balanced.
Yeah.
And then, especially in the early days. And then, of course, most recently, Matthew Stafford. I think the Darrell Bevell hire, if you only look at the quarterbacks he's worked with, I think you're like, okay, That's cool. And by the way, Brett Favre, Matthew Stafford, that's one thing. But Russell Wilson, when he came into the league, so he was a rookie guy, young guy, and he was able to mold him and help him early on, and look where Russell Wilson is now. I think that's a great attribute of Bevell. I love the hire in that regard. That's the only thing I can really succinctly say about the Darrell Bevell hire.
The only difference is with I think even Favre, but especially Russell Wilson, the fact that when they got to the league, they weren't expected to be counted on right away. Trevor Lawrence is going to come in here day one, be the starter, and you got to make sure he's ready to roll.
Yeah, you do, but I think the fact that you do have James Robinson in the back, maybe you don't have to load him up, kind of like you were saying about Burrow. We'll see what happens. What about Joe Cullen? I want the book. Let's see the philosophy. Give me a Joe Cullen story to head into the weekend. We'll talk about it. Coming up, Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Friday. I'm Jake Mitchell. New Jags head coach Urban Meyer is not wasting any time hiring staff. Jacksonville welcomes former Ravens D-line coach Joe Cullen as he is expected to be named the defensive coordinator of the Jaguars. Here's Jags new GM Trent Baalke discussing whether or not the first pick is an easy decision for them this year.
Easy, I don't know that word exists in the National Football League, so I'd certainly put you in the driver's seat, but there are no easy decisions in the National Football League, and you work through the process, you do the best job you can, and then you make the decision based on the knowledge that you've acquired.
And the NCAA placed Notre Dame's football program on probation for a year because a former assistant coach had impermissible off-campus recruiting contact with a high school player in January of 2019. Sports Center Update is brought to you by Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
The new motto is seize the day. That's why you got to go see your friends at Arlington Toyota, because their super low payments are going to put a brand new Toyota in your driveway tonight. Right now at Arlington, take your pick. A new 2021 RAV4 LE or a new 2021 Tacoma SR5. You choose, zero down or buy for just $299 a month. This is a purchase, not a lease. Seize the day in a new Toyota from Arlington Toyota and come see their brand new facility when you shop safely in person at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/January for full details.
Are you a golfer? Is someone you love a big golfer? Are your clients or customers golfers? If so, you must right now get the best golf card in Jacksonville. It's a discount card for 8 premier courses, and as a bonus with this exclusive golf card, you receive free things like from Smoothie King, a free smoothie, a free hat from Dome Hats, a free shirt from Baker Sports. It's only $95, but quantities are limited. Go to ESPN690.com to see all the details. Save hundreds of dollars at ESPN690.com with a Dream 18 card.
For the ones standing guard. For the eagle-eyed. For the knights in shining armor. And for all those who support them. We are Grainger, your experienced safety partner, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, committed to helping keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com/safety, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It is the home of the Action Sports Shacks Dream 18, and make it your home course as well. The golf club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210. It's family owned and operated. Southampton is a fun course to play, and the golf club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facilities and player-friendly golf course design, it'll be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. For information on the membership programs, call the golf club at Southampton, 904-287-PLAY. Again, it's 904-287-PLAY. why.
HBI, a national leader for career training in the building industry, is providing training, certification, and placement in the construction industry for veterans, their spouses, and children that are over the age of 18 at no cost. The following 2021 class dates are being offered: January 11th, February 16th, March 15th, April 12th, May 10th, June 7th. For more program and class details, please call Joe Jones at 407-717-7609 or visit the website at hbi.org.
One of the more difficult issues facing small businesses today is having enough work to keep good employees. What if your business was affected by a sudden or extended drop in income because of COVID-19? What can be done to ensure that the people who are your top performers remain with you? Many of our SCORE volunteers have faced similar situations and willing to share their expertise. Take advantage of the opportunity to gain their knowledge by registering to participate in a SCORE webinar or schedule a free confidential meeting with a counselor at jacksonville.score.org.
For the ones who know that a little late is always too late, and that the clock doesn't stop just because you're missing a part, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry. And our Keep Stock inventory management solutions help ensure you have the right stuff in the right place at exactly the right time. Visit Grainger.com/keepstock to learn more. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
AD needed championships. Chips, plural, to start entering the greatest power forward ever conversation. How many does he need to win with the Lakers before he starts entering that conversation?
The Max Kellerman Show, weekdays at 2 Eastern on ESPN Radio. And now, watch exclusively on ESPN+.
All right, welcome back. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. All right, Joe Cullen, you got the book?
I got a book.
You got a book.
I got a book.
I'm not sure you're supposed to have that book, but...
there it is. Put it out in there. It's everybody here.
You said that yesterday.
I know.
Well, I don't know which book this one is. I'm just saying. Whatever book you have, you probably stole.
I'm kidding. That's the last thing I might have.
Is it harder to do that now because you get hard copies this day and age, or is it all off the laptop?
I feel like it's off the laptop. Yeah, it's unless you know like a pretty good hacker or somebody that works on the Geek Squad. It's probably going to be rough to try to steal that.
Yeah. I don't know any hackers.
I don't like steal. Take that. Let's just say take that sounds a little better than steal that.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's the same thing, but for whatever reason, I feel like take that sounds a little better. That's Friday, whatever.
Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. All right, we talked Joe Cullen a lot yesterday, so we don't have to do it again today.
You want a story or something, or what?
I feel like I need a Joe Cullen story all the time, but I don't want to ask too much of you.
What do you mean too much of me? These memories are embedded in they're burned in my brain.
If you're at the Pickle right now on a Friday in Wisconsin in January, it's snowing, people are drinking.
Yeah.
Packers are playing in the NFC Championship game. Aaron Rodgers, the MVP, and somebody says, "Hey, Austin, you played in the NFL. Who's your coaches? Give us a story." You're pulling up Joe Cullen, and you're telling him what?
All right. Two that come to my mind right away. Do you want to hear?
Listen, we have a lot of shows. You don't have to tell both.
No, I'm not. I'm going to let you pick. It's going to be a dealer's choice here. Let me get to it. Do you want to hear about the Hooters Twitter story, or do you want to hear about the time I had to go through individual practice by myself?
Ooh.
I know, right? Two enticing ones. Two aggressive ones. One very mentally, one very physically, let's just say.
Hooters Twitter story,
or the time I had to go through individual all by myself the whole time for 12 minutes.
You said Hooters, I'm in.
Hooters Twitter story?
Yeah.
Hopefully they can cut the check and get me an endorsement here.
Yeah.
All right, so Hooters Twitter story. So Joe Cullen, fun fact about him, he's no nonsense, right? And Brent, I'm sure you maybe remember or not, but when I was in the league as a rookie, and
do we need music for Joe Cullen story time?
Yeah, let's get some
dip some in if you want. Just something very, very low key, Kuz. I know we're asking a lot of you, but even if it's halfway through the story.
No, I mean,
it's a rainy day.
I want it, man. Yeah, let's get some wood crackling, like a nice campfire.
Well, now you might be specifically asking for something you can't get.
Okay, well, whatever then. Kuz, anything just chill storytelling.
Let's see, the first note he pulls up here right now. He's swearing
you got
at us.
any Ariana Grande back there or something? I'm kidding.
He does on the other station.
I know.
All right, you begin story time.
Brent, do you want to drop a beat?
Kuz will put the bed of music in. No, I don't want to drop a beat.
All right.
I wish I had said that instead. I'm going to drop a beat right now.
You would have definitely upped your brand a little bit. And
Or not.
And well, if he is playing a song, I probably can't even hear it anyways because I'm on a different channel right now.
Yeah, I don't know why that does that.
Is he playing music
No,
or not?
he's
Okay.
not.
never
I'll
mind
let
then.
you know.
All
I'll
right,
start
cool.
bopping.
Okay, cool.
When it happens.
All right, so the Joe Cullen Hooters Twitter story. So Brent, a little. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Could you mind just turning down just a smidge up, please, just a little bit?
Yeah,
perfect.
There you go. That's good.
All right, Brent. So as you remember, my time in the league, it was very social media interactive. And when I say I was very social media interactive, I love to go on Twitter and be a goofball, if you will, right? Like I never talked about football. I actually made fun of a lot of players who, would post pictures of themselves working out and all that stuff. And, time to rise and grind. I thought it was all stupid. I thought it was all cliche. So I kind of took it upon myself to kind of be like the anti-NFL guy and tweet a bunch of random stuff. So this tended to make Joe Cullen upset. And I'm not sure it wasn't Joe Cullen's fault because Joe Cullen didn't have Twitter. But somebody in the scouting department or somebody, might have been Gene Smith, kept on telling Joe Cullen what I was tweeting on Twitter, and that would get back to me.
I doubt Gene Smith was on Twitter.
I don't know. You never know, man. Gene Smith might have a couple burner accounts out there, all those small school prospects who's taking offense to that.
Following
Colorado
School of the Mines on Twitter.
Hey, shout out to Southern Illinois. Shout out to Central Arkansas. Shout out to Murray State, baby. We in here. We rolling deep.
Go Ashland.
Go Ashland University. So anyways, like I said, Joe Cullen was never a fan of my tweets. Well, one time I put out a tweet. I went to Hooters, got some stuff to go, brought it back to my apartment, and after... And when I was picking up the Hooters, like the girl was talking to me, obviously trying to get a bigger tip. And like it was, I'll be honest, the conversation was lacking, and I wasn't really feeling it. So I was trying to get in and get out. Didn't give you a good tip, sorry, but it is what it is. But
wasn't the same lady that tweeted at you yesterday from the movie theater?
Oh, she's definitely a Hooters girl. Might have been, Brent. Might have been, with all due respect to Hooters. So with that being said, after I got my food, I put out a little tweet. I fired one off, and it basically, to paraphrase, I said, well, at least I don't need to get a psychiatrist now or a therapist because I can always go to Hooters and they can hear about my problems. Now, this is during training camp, or this is after training camp, and whatever. I mean, it's harmless. It's just good
pretty
fun.
harmless.
Yeah, it's harmless. So, like, a week later, we're going through practice and everything, and we come back after practice. We watch film. And on one of these plays, I messed up. Like, I had a false step or something, and when you mess up, Joe Cullen goes ballistic, okay? And Joe Cullen has told me a couple times, watch your footwork, watch your footwork. Well, I didn't watch my footwork, and now Joe Cullen is yelling at me in the meeting. And to paraphrase and to summarize, there's a lot of, language being thrown around.
Expletives.
But the best part at the end, because like right now I'm scared, right? Like right now I'm like, okay, dude, I get it. I got to get better. Thank you, sir. But at the end, like he could have cut it off. But at the end, Joe Cullen goes, and maybe you weren't always tweeting about the Hooters girls and everything like that. You'd be able to focus. And keep in mind, like, not all my teammates follow me on Twitter, like my defensive lineman teammates. So, like, Joe Cullen drops Hooters girls. And now, like, Terrence Knighton, Jamie Mincy, Derek Harvey, all people break up and they're like laughing. And I'm laughing now. I'm like, dude, what? Come on, Joe. So there you go.
Totally out of context, Joe Cullen on Hooters.
Well, but it was like, and it was crazy because, like, I got yelled at. And then there was, like, this moment of silence, like this moment of pause. And then, like, he re-upped, and he doubled down. He's like, and if you weren't tweeting all those Hooters girls all the time, and it's just like, dude, I got the point, man. Like, you made the point, and now you just made it funny.
Give me that book real quick.
What do you got?
I'm going to open up to a page. Let's see what we got. Whatever. Let's find it. Let's try to find something good here.
This is like Mission Impossible now.
Building a pass rusher.
Let's go. Oh, dude, Dwayne Reed, I can tell you that right now.
What is it?
It's 3 phases, right?
Yep.
It's the get off. It's the, it's like the get off, we'll say. It's the fastball.
That's true.
Okay.
It's approach.
The approach. Get off approach. Yep. Second one. Move area.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yep.
Always work half man.
Work the half man. And the third is going to be the finish of a violent, relentless finish.
Most important phase.
Yes.
Turn hips and toe toward the QB. Sack, fumble, get the ball out, Austin Lane.
Boom.
Welcome to town, Joe Cullen, defensive coordinator of the Jacksonville Jaguars. More of that to come along the way on ESPN 690.
Yeah.
Hello, you have reached the Crooks R Us training helpline. Today we're explaining the term verified alarm to all you newbies out there.
Oh, boss, I can explain that. A verified alarm just means that whatever caused the security system alarm to go off has been verified.
Correct. And what alarm company is known for providing the fastest verified alarms?
SafeTouch Security.
Exactly. Because SafeTouch has the two-way communicator, which leads to alarm verification within seconds.
And alarm verification is very bad for us crooks.
Yeah, unlike a non-verified alarm that police label a low priority.
Like right below getting Grandma's cat out of a tree low.
So, to sum up, verified alarms. Just one more reason we crooks have the golden rule: stay away from SafeTouch houses. Remember that, and you'll be fine.
Here, kitty, kitty.
Only one security system is truly the best. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Support local businesses, get discounted golf, and how about some free stuff? It's the Dream 18 card on ESPN690.com. Discounted golf at Southampton, Osprey Cove, Eagle Landing, Queens Harbor, Amelia River, St. John's Golf and Country Club, Hidden Hills, and Fleming Island Golf Club. And you heard the word free. How about a free smoothie from Smoothie King, free shirt from Baker Sports, and a free hat from Dome Hats, plus other local business discounts. Save hundreds of dollars, all for $95. It's the Dream 18 card on ESPN690.com.
The new motto is seize the day. That's why you got to go see your friends at Arlington Toyota, because their super low payments are going to put a brand new Toyota in your driveway tonight. Right now at Arlington, take your pick. A new 2021 Corolla LE or a new 2021 Camry LE. You choose, zero down or buy for just $249 a month. This is a purchase, not a lease. Seize the day in a new Toyota from Arlington Toyota and come see their brand new facility when you shop safely in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/January for full details.
Hey, do you owe more than $25K on your car, a truck, or that toy in the driveway? Refinance your auto loan with One-to-One Financial. We'll not only lower your payments, but we'll put $200 cash in your pocket. Plus, we have the lowest loan rates in town. Make some room in your budget and put more cash in your pocket. When you refinance with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Apply today at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Slip and falls can be embarrassing, leaving you in pain and feeling like you've lost control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar & Levine. After a fall, document the scene by taking photographs. Make sure to get medical attention for any injuries you may have. If you've been injured in a slip and fall, call the law offices of Anajar & Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
It's time for some straight talk. Look, we all drop our phones. It happens. You fumble it, crack it, splash it. Well, Straight Talk Wireless now offers this new Platinum Unlimited plan that includes phone protection. Just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data, plus 20 gigs of hotspot, 100 gigs of cloud storage, and more. All on the best network. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. See Mobile Protect terms and conditions at Assurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
Pro Extra is the Home Depot's free loyalty program built for pros. Members earn perks just for shopping, like new Pro Extra dollars or tool rental perks. Get exclusive benefits every day that save time and money. And here's an extra, $20 off your next in-store purchase of $200 or more, just for signing up. Want to save? Join Pro Extra, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Visit the Pro Desk in-store at homedepot.com/Pro Extra for details.
I'm Doug Brown. Baseball Hall of Famer Hank Aaron has died. Aaron retired from the game 45 years ago, but he's still the Major League record holder for career RBIs, total bases, and extra base hits. ESPN's Tim Kirkjian.
Take away all his home runs, and he still had 3,000 hits. One of the great defensive right fielders of all time, one of the great clutch hitters of all time.
Tim Kirkjian on Greeny. Aaron played 23 years and broke Babe Ruth's long-standing career home run record back in 1974. Aaron was 86. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes says he'll play Sunday against the Bills in the AFC title game. Mahomes still hasn't been officially cleared from the NFL concussion protocol. Martin Mayhew is the new GM of the Washington football team. For the last 4 years, Mayhew worked in the 49ers front office. Ohio State co-defensive coordinator Greg Madison is retiring. He spent the past 2 years on Ryan Day's staff after coming over from Michigan.
New to the Wendy's 2 for $5 lineup is their classic chicken sandwich. So go grab a 2 for $5 deal and pick 2 faves, like a Dave single, spicy chicken sandwich, nugs, and now the classic chicken sandwich, 2 for just $5. Price and participation may vary. Limited time only.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Well, obviously, he's one of the greatest players of all time. Take away all his home runs, and he still had 3,000 hits. One of the great defensive right fielders of all time. One of the great clutch hitters of all time, but way more important than that, Greeny, was the way that he carried himself with courage and grace and dignity through the chase of Babe Ruth in 1974 especially. Racism, hate mail was unbelievably terrible, and yet he fought his way through that and never held it against anyone as he moved forward. Never angry, never bitter.
Yeah, they really say Hank Aaron, just the gentleman of gentlemen. And, well, if that's the case, a gentle giant in the sport of baseball we lost. In sports, you know, again, he transcends baseball. And he transcends sports. I said at the top of the show, I think there's a lot of things we talk about, and we live in this world. We live in this sports bubble. And we think, we say it all the time around here, like everybody loves the Jags, right? Like you said it. We were talking about Lot J. Not everybody watches the Jags. Not everybody knows Trevor Lawrence is coming to Jacksonville. Not everybody even knows Urban Meyer. But in our world, it feels like it, doesn't it? I mean, it feels, how do you not know it, right? Well, it's not the case. I mean, in reality, I'd say there's a good amount of people, especially here in Jacksonville. But if you went to the grocery store and you asked this common question about the Jags, you might get 7 or 8 people say, I know what you're talking about. There might be those 2 or 3 that don't.
Without a doubt.
But I said it about Hank Aaron. If you go to that same grocery store, you ask those same 10 people about Hank Aaron, they'll know who Hank Aaron is.
Absolutely.
All 10 of them. And I think that's how big he was.
Well, and especially a guy that hasn't played the game in how long. But obviously, 74. You know, just his skill set, the resume, the type of guy he was, like that's carried him, and it's going to keep on carrying him. Where people will always speak his name, and that's definitely it's definitely a rare thing, especially nowadays where, you know, sports can be so saturated and all this stuff, but like people will always know and always remember who Hank Aaron is.
Yeah, no doubt about it. A lot of baseball legends we're losing.
Yeah.
In these last few months for sure, and Hank Aaron today at the age of 86. Let's talk a little bit about the NFL playoffs. We're going to talk Trevor Lawrence in just a moment, by the way, but first the NFL playoffs. Which is a better game? I give you one game to watch.
Yeah.
Which one are you taking?
I got to go with Green Bay and Tampa.
Really?
I mean, come on, man. It's Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers. And then with all due respect to Josh Allen, and listen, I understand Patrick Mahomes. That guy's the future. You know, the numbers are ridiculous right now. They probably only get better from years to come. But go ahead and give me, like, it's funny because we talk about history, right? And we talk about, you know, the GOAT, obviously, and Brady. And then you got, you know, the Rodgers Ray, whatever they're calling him in Green Bay. Like, you got these 2 guys, but the crazy thing is they're playing at such a high level still, Brent. Right? Like, see, like, why this game is so important to me is because it's almost like we're watching 2 stars. Eventually, they're going to fade out. Like, I mean, they can't sustain this forever.
I feel like we said that about, like, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady in 2011. We might have.
Yeah, we very well
and
might
here
have.
we are some 10 years later.
I know, we're still
and Tom's still.
One of these years. Yeah.
Now it's a different guy. Like, I feel like in 2031, we're going to be talking about this could be the end for Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady.
Yeah. No, I'm going to be honest, man. In terms of the Packer, Tampa Bay game here, it's a win-win for me because either Tom Brady goes to the Super Bowl and then I win another bet from you, or, Green Bay goes. And I like to see Green Bay go. So
yeah, you try to get some of that equity back with the Pickle folks in Wisconsin.
There's a lot to get back, Brent.
What kind of party at the Pickle would there be if the Packers are going to the Super Bowl?
Kidding me?
Seriously?
Kidding me?
Like, is it? Well, it's 9 out of every 10 people are Packers fans, right? Like 9.5 at the Pickle.
Oh no, like it's 10 out of 10. Like
10 out of 10.
Yeah, because it's not like Jacksonville. Like everyone's kind of like open to. Oh, hey, this is a Bears fan, or this is a. Nah, man. Like if you're in Wisconsin, like some people will rock Bears jerseys, but just be careful when you do that. Seriously.
A lot of broken bottles.
A lot of broken bottles for sure. But I was in Eau Claire when Green Bay won their last Super Bowl, and we went out after that. Obviously,
was it crazy?
Oh, it was. Yeah, it was nuts.
So you would rather watch Packers? That's interesting. Packers Bucks.
Where you at? You thinking Bills? And I mean, the Bills is a great story, obviously.
Yeah, I do. I think the Bills story's cool because you can really feel the attachment between them and the city. I always say that. I've said this, and I won't go into long form about it, but, I think that's one of the reasons the Red Sox finally broke through. Mm-hmm. I feel like the Bills and their fan base, the way it's being perceived and the way it looks from the outside, is a lot like the Cubs, though. And after all the disappointment and then finally winning it, it's like felt like they had the team to win it. They were going to do it. Yeah. And that's what it feels like. The Bills feel that way. There's like this extra energy behind the Buffalo Bills right now, and it's really because of their fan base. It's because of all the disappointing years, all the tables broken, all the bodies broken probably because of jumping through those tables over losing years. And so here we are. And I feel like also if I got to sign up for one game, the question here is you get one game, but you have to close your eyes for the other game.
Okay.
All right, and shut off the TV. I feel like the Kansas City Bills game has a chance to be more entertaining.
Really?
And so I feel like I would sign up for that. And also,
when you say entertaining, more high scoring.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think a little bit more like up and down. Maybe. I mean, listen, we have no idea how these work out, but I think there might be more fireworks in that game. And I think the most intriguing player in the Final Four is Josh Allen because we know Brady can do it.
Yes.
We really think Aaron Rodgers can do it, and we've seen him do it anyway.
That's correct,
and
sir.
Patrick Mahomes has now done it. So you're waiting to see if Josh Allen can hit this next level. He's been terrific, but can he be that terrific? And he's going to have to be to beat Kansas City in Kansas City for this to take place. So I really feel like the intrigue is there. And then if you really want to add even more drama into it, you can add the Mahomes injuries and what's going on there. So I actually think, believe it or not, and I understand the greatness on the other side, but I've watched that greatness for a long time.
Yeah, you want the fresh new thing?
And I might watch this other set of greatness for a long, long time to come.
Yeah.
I just feel like there is a lot more interest and intrigue in what's going to happen in this one. And I'll also say this, as much as Brady is Brady, and we'll get to our picks in a little bit, but I mean, I just think it's so hard to beat Green Bay in Lambeau Field this time of year.
Yeah.
And that crowd maybe changes that up, but it's almost like Mother Nature is bigger than the crowd. That's why I feel that way.
It's the frozen tundra, Brent.
And also, Green Bay's just damn good. Like, they're not like last year was a little bit of a smoke and mirrors that they were 13-3. This is like a well-earned 13-3.
As many Packer fans would tell you, they were one of the worst 13-3 franchises in all of history.
Yeah,
I mean,
it felt that way. Like you could see that. It was kind of like the Steelers being at 11-0. Like you knew there were some warts there,
but
right?
obviously they got exposed in the championship game last year when they played San Fran. I'll say this, and you know how I feel about Kansas City. You know how I feel about Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. Like I have them winning the Super Bowl, and they're definitely an entertaining team to watch in terms of fireworks and firepower. But if I'm being honest here, what would put the AFC Championship game over for me, over the Rodgers-Brady battle, would be if Cleveland would have won. If we're talking Browns-Bills in the AFC Championship game, I mean, you want to talk about must-see TV? And listen, it doesn't make much sense, right? Like, I mean, obviously you need Kansas City because they're the defending Super Bowl champion, Like, you need that team that it's kind of the dynasty push, if you will. But you give me the Cleveland Browns and the Buffalo Bills, I mean, I'm not sure what ratings would do in that, like in terms of record or anything, but like I'm glued to that television the entire time.
Yeah, the interesting thing about that one is I actually think if we had Bills and Browns, it would be the first time I would really be like, damn, we're missing the fans in the stands.
True.
Like, I think
true.
I would say, screw coronavirus, COVID-19. I said, if everybody gets it in the stadium, I don't care. Fill it up, split it halfway down the middle like it's Florida, Georgia, and put the Bills fans and Browns fans in. Like that, because to me, that game is more about the fans than it would be about.
I get it, man.
Which is pretty amazing, really.
Yeah.
We think that way about those fan bases,
Yeah.
but like we can relate to those fan bases in Jacksonville, though. I think that's part of it. But yeah, it's like, sorry, COVID.
I could just see you campaign. Keep in mind, we have Biden in office now. All right, so everyone pump the brakes. But I can just see Brett. You know, in his. And let's be honest.
We're able to delay that for a week.
It'll be his best Trump impersonation. It'll be like, we're gonna have the best fans here. We have tables getting smashed, and we have the dog pound. It's gonna be the best fans, and we need the fans here. So let's go, Roger. Come on, Roger.
And I would actually fall in line with that for that one.
And here's the thing.
For Bills and Browns,
Dude,
I would have.
I mean, like, it's one of those things where, like, I'm not going to it, but I want to watch that. Like, I want to see him go mano a mano.
Like, seriously, if you'd rather see the tailgating of Bills Browns than the football game Bills Browns.
Can you imagine, like, if you did, like, that, this is what we got to be thinking about, Brent. Like, we got to do a show from the tailgate. No, we have no allegiance to Cleveland or Buffalo. But can you imagine, like, that scene and covering that?
Be unbelievable.
Be where it's at.
So I agree with you. I like what you're saying. I think it'd be kind of neat. But I love the Final Four. The Final Four is really good. I'm a little surprised Buffalo made it to this point. We'll do our picks here in just a little bit. But we got blockbuster. You want star? It feels a little bit kind of like the way the NBA shakes out.
Yeah.
In the sense that it's star power. I mean, we got star power in the finals.
Well, the Miami Heat say what's up.
Well,
though,
I understand, but most years in the last 2 years, you had Golden State against Cleveland.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's that
you also
kind
had
of star.
Toronto though too, Brent.
Okay, maybe it's a bad example.
I'm just trying. No, I mean, no, let's be honest though. Like in star power, like Jimmy Butler was the star. I mean, like the finals made the star power.
That's true. And Josh Allen is more Jimmy Butler right now.
He is. Yes.
How's that?
Putting the team on the back.
Yeah,
like
we're rescuing this.
Not bad.
Right, let's bring in Martin Buckley to rescue it right now from Palm Beach Autographs. What's up, Martin Buckley?
What's up, guys? I want to go tailgating with you guys. That sounds like a fun show.
Yeah, well, we got to go to. Let's see, what's the show you've been to a million times? Give me the band.
Who's that?
Wrigley Field.
Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam.
I was gonna say, I feel like he's been to a lot of shows, Brent.
Just blanked out on it. But Pearl Jam, how many Pearl Jam shows have you been to?
11.
Wow.
Which is actually pretty low numbers. That's low numbers for Pearl Jam fans. Pearl Jam people would scoff at those.
Yeah, I thought you've been to more than that. But haven't you been like to the Wrigley edition or?
Oh, that's the one to go to.
Yeah, so
every show at Wrigley Field. I think it's five at Wrigley.
Nice.
Was last year the first year you hadn't been to like a big time show in like your life, or did you get to one in like January, February, or early March?
My last one was Willie Nelson and family at one of my favorite places, the St. Augustine Amphitheater.
Oh yeah,
that was a great show.
That's awesome.
And then I think after that, it was when me and you did the show out at Sawgrass. I went and saw Gary Goldman, and then that was like when everything was getting shut down right after that.
Okay.
That was the last of it. I'm missing it. I know Austin is too, man. I can't wait for it to come back.
Who you telling?
I do, listen, I don't go to as many shows as you guys do, but I do miss that. Like, we started to go to more things, whether it was down at the amphitheater or Daly's place here or the arena. I felt like we were starting to go to more, Steph and I, and trying to do more of that. And I miss that. I do miss that.
How many Garth Brooks concerts have you been to, Brent?
I have been to
125.
No, I've been to just 2.
2 of them? Okay.
One here in Jacksonville, one in Ohio.
That's kind of like your dude, though, right?
That's my guy.
Well, you better step those numbers up. Then those are rookie numbers, Brent.
Two concerts, but one picture.
There you go.
Went to a football clinic with Garth.
Did you really?
That's where I got the picture.
I
it was at
remember
Lee
that
High
over
School.
here in town,
You've never told that story.
Yeah, no, he was in town, and part of being in town is he does like a youth thing with I don't know if every stop.
Does he know football?
But he teamed up with some of the I think he knows football a little bit. I mean, he played minor league
baseball.
Oklahoma,
Joe. Okay.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I think he was an Oklahoma State guy.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, OSU.
So,
he's a huge baseball guy too.
Yeah, obviously played a little minor league ball for a bit with Arizona, right? Wasn't it Arizona? think so.
Yeah, and then the Mets. He played with the Mets organization, and Padres. I think he's done it with a few teams. Huge baseball fan. And then you're right, OSU for sure.
All right, Martin Buckley from Palm Beach Autographs. Have you found the Urban Meyer baseball picture so you can get him to sign that and sell that in the store? I mean, are there a lot of copies of that out there from his minor league days?
Years ago when Urban first left Florida, I was doing a signing and I went to his house, and he's a big collector. He keeps a lot of stuff. He actually put out a tweet today. I don't know if you saw.
I saw it. It's terrific.
Yeah, and he showed me it. He showed me the Hank Aaron signature, and then he had some baseballs and different things like that. And he keeps a lot of that. He's really he thinks that stuff's cool. My favorite photo is the one of him with that sweet mustache. I'm definitely printing some of those with the coach's shorts.
Best.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
That's great stuff. We're going to talk about Trevor Lawrence here because I wanted to ask you about his value. There's so much talk about New York and Jacksonville and all, how much more money he would make than New Yorkers say. But before I do that, does Urban Meyer, we don't see this in your kind of line of work from a memorabilia standpoint. I think from a signing standpoint, we see coaches do that very often. Urban Meyer, I'm going to be fully honest with you. I told somebody else this today. He's created more of a buzz with the hire than I thought it would. I thought it would be a bump. It's always a bump when you hire a coach. I thought it would be a little bit polarizing. But there has been an actual buzz in the season ticket stuff and all that. It actually kind of quieted the Trevor Lawrence talk for a while.
Agree.
Can he, is it worth doing a signing deal with Urban
Absolutely,
Meyer?
man. Break out those three-quarter zips there, Martin. Break out some three-quarter zip Jaguars, Urban Meyer editions. Let's go.
I have a text message going right now with a very good friend of mine who handles Coach Meyer. He handles all of his memorabilia. He's a really good friend of mine, very respected guy in the industry. And I'm working on counts right now for his first Jaguar signings. We're going to do footballs and helmets and, pictures of the stadium. And if there's a good shot of him in the three-quarter zip, out there on at the bank field, we sold Coach Meyer great coming off of 2008 and 2006 as a Gator. And then when he went to Ohio State, he sold terrific. Not so much in the store for Ohio State, but on our website specifically. So I think without a doubt, once we announce that we're doing a signing, that we'll have a tremendous amount of interest. And to your point, no disrespect to any of the other guys, but I never would have approached, Jack Del Rio or Gus Bradley or those guys, to do a signing. But Coach Meyer, absolutely, we will be doing a signing for the exact same reason that you said.
That's wild. Wow. Mark Buckley with us from Palm Beach Autographs. And I feel that, too. I mean, I think that's sincere. I think it's worth doing that. I think people will come out to see Urban Meyer. How much do you think, obviously the success, but does it make it so unique because the college jump to the NFL, but the college jump with 3 national titles and 2 different programs? I mean, you're talking about, in your business, the uniqueness of things is very valuable. And so does that make it more unique than normal?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good point. I think that a lot of people, we saw this once before, right? All the parallels right now are being drawn to Nick Saban, right?
Yeah.
So, Nick Saban had obviously tremendous success at LSU, didn't have so much success with the Dolphins, and had unbelievable success with Alabama. So he did do signings on Dolphins items. Are they valuable? No, not at all. But, people definitely, when he was there, wanted those items. And I think people are going to have, and by the way, I don't think that's even remotely a fair comparison, because if you look back, if Nick would have had, a Drew Brees come in here, what kind of career would he had?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the fact that Urban is taking this job with Trevor and the money and the draft picks, I mean, he has a completely different situation in front of him. I think an easier path to succeed, and he absolutely will sell. If we get a few hundred Urban Meyer items and this team competes for the division next year, which I think they can, and I think both of you guys think that they probably can, we'll move through that instantaneously, very, very quickly, both in the store and obviously online.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Martin Buckley with us from Palm Beach Autographs. All right, now to Trevor. This is really what I wanted to ask you about today, but I appreciate the insight on Urban Meyer too. How valuable of a commodity in, again, your industry will Trevor Lawrence be and is already?
So without speaking out of line, I'll sort of kind of tiptoe around this because his deal's not finalized. His memorabilia deal is not finalized, but the reports that I'm hearing are off the charts. It's going to be one of the richest rookie memorabilia deals. It might be the richest rookie memorabilia deal, certainly the one that I've ever heard of.
Wow!
But it's a massive, massive contract. And going back to what you said earlier, Brent, I'm starting with the way that the game has changed with fantasy football and people identifying with players. Yeah, of course, if you're in a New York market, maybe there's a little bit of this or a little bit of that. But I think being in a smaller market, like Joe Burrow's being in Cincinnati, obviously he's still selling, before the injury was selling like crazy and having a successful run. I think Trevor, we're going to see the exact same thing. Now, the one thing that people are going to probably be upset about here locally is he's going to get a massive, massive deal, which means that the items are going to be very, very expensive.
Yeah.
So, that's people aren't used to seeing that. A lot of the guys that I work with here in town are local guys. It's easy for me to work with them. I take care of them. They take care of us. I think this is a national deal. This is the biggest guy in the draft. This is a completely new beast for Jacksonville in many ways. Even Ramsey, being a top draft pick, was expensive, but not even in the same boat. First of all, he's a quarterback. He's generational. He's got a million things going for him. So he has a huge, huge deal. And, once that deal gets signed, he'll do an autograph signing and we'll post it on our website. And, if people want stuff, they're welcome to buy it, but it's going to there's going to be a lot of sticker shock. You remember when we did the signing with Timmy, there was a lot of sticker shock for people.
Yeah.
This is going to blow that out of the water.
Really? So this is going to blow like Tebow out of the water.
The ask, the price, yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be really expensive, but it's also, with that being said, it's 10 years, removed.
True.
These guys make more and more money every single year. So whether it's an endorsement for a shoe or how much they're getting off their original contract or memorabilia, whatever it is, that number we keep seeing it tick up every single year. A little bit more, a little bit more. There just doesn't seem to really be a ceiling for it. It just keeps going up.
Martin, when we talk about Trevor Lawrence, coming from the University of Clemson, and that's in the Southeast and everything, but he was able to win a championship there in Clemson. They're on the come up. They have a pretty strong fan base now. In terms of buying the merchandise, everything like that, and the memorabilia here, will Clemson fans come with Trevor Lawrence, I guess, to Jacksonville? Does that generally happen, especially with such a big talent like Trevor Lawrence, or maybe they buy something but they kind of go on to the next thing?
Yeah, I think that's very accurate. I think with a player like him, specifically being kind of close to Clemson there, I think a lot of people will be like, you know what, Trevor's a Jaguar, I'm going to get a Trevor jersey, or they're going to some people might want to just have the Clemson items, but sure. I think there's certainly a big group of people that are going to jump on board because there's a lot of Clemson people that live here in town or maybe an hour and a half away or 2 hours away, or whatever it may be. So it'll be easy for them to kind of follow their favorite player. And if he has success, then, the Jags fan base will grow. But, we see that. You'll see that with, guys like Tim is another great example. There was a lot of Gator fans that became sort of pseudo Bronco fans there for a little while. So I think that you can definitely see that crossover for sure.
All right, we got to run, but I'm going to ask you real quick. Was the Burrow deal huge last year?
It was huge. And not only that, it was coming off of a Heisman and maybe the best season ever. His hot market at Clemson, that national championship's long done. There's no Heisman there, and it's like double.
Wow. And so what's fascinating, one last thing, Minshew was the character more than the player in a sense, and not to take anything away from his playing, but
Absolutely.
This is all based on his performance and what kind of quarterback people might think he could be, right? I mean, we don't even really talk about the character or the personality of Trevor Lawrence.
I think that's exactly right. I mean, you don't want to put the cart before the horse, but the way I look at this from the business side of it is this very much, I think you guys will probably agree with this. This feels very similar to Peyton Manning. And when he came in and, understanding that, he might need a little bit of time, it might take him a little while. I don't know if he'll have the career that he has, but in terms of his brand and his impact on the NFL and his impact with all of his business and all of his dealings, it very, very much feels like that. There doesn't seem to be a ton. I don't feel real risky about investing in Trevor Lawrence. It seems like a very, very safe investment.
Wow. Martin Buckley from Palm Beach Autographs. Check him out, palmbeachautographs.com. Also in the Avenues Mall as well. Hey, man, I love when you come on. We could spend like an hour with you. Very educational. Thanks for taking some time.
Always, guys. Hope to see you all soon. And whenever you need anything, let me know.
You bet. We'll have you on again. That's Martin Buckley from Palm Beach Autographs. By the way, on the Dream 18 card, you can get 15% off Palm Beach Autographs. Memorabilia.
Yeah.
When you buy. So one item. So go.
Well, maybe when that Trevor Lawrence stuff comes in, you're going to need that.
You might want to start loading up.
Yeah.
But you can go to ESPN690.com for the Dream 18 card, and Palm Beach Autographs, part of the discounts, along with discounted golf and free stuff. Check it out, and check out palmbeachautographs.com. I love that. I love talking that stuff. Martin's so awesome on that.
Yeah, he knows his stuff.
But that's like a wow thing. Like, I didn't realize it would be that big. Hey, New York, take that.
Yeah.
Take that, New York.
Who do you think has been like the second biggest? If he does break the record, whose record is he breaking?
I mean, maybe it's just an incremental thing because of the year, like you were saying.
Like a salary cap.
But you just said it might double Joe Burrow. Burrow was a big thing last year.
How big was Johnny Football?
That's a good question.
Was he big?
Maybe I'll try to find the answer to that.
We probably should ask him.
We could, but we're running out of time. And Kuz is going to kill us. We're going to do our picks when we come back. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly to mostly cloudy and mild today. Highs will top out near 70 with a few scattered showers that will continue into this evening, dropping into the low 50s overnight. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 at Fox 30 Action News Jacks from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where you get the lowest diamond price guaranteed or your money back.
By now, you already know the sound of my voice and how much I call out shoddy AC work. So if you're in the business, you're either angry about it or you'd secretly love to come work for me. Well, I'm looking to hire some world-class AC installation techs because Griffin Service only hires the best. And just so we're clear, if you wouldn't rather starve than do turd bucket work, don't call. If you're great with the equipment, but only so-so with customers, you ain't our Huckleberry either. See, you and I both know how an AC is installed is even more important than what's installed. And companies that rush their installers end up cheating their customers out of the performance they're paying for. So if you're tired of doing rip and replace installs that shortchange the customer, or of being an A player surrounded by shortcut-taking schmucks, and you want to be paid top dollar, plus bonuses, all while working for a family-first company, email Tom at griffinservice.com.
License number 1250697. We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope. And you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
It's time for the conference championships, and you can follow all the action at betonline.net. In the early game on Sunday, Tampa takes a trip north to Green Bay, looking to become the first team in history to play for the title on their home field. The two teams with the best win-loss records face off as Buffalo visits KC on Sunday night. KC looks to advance to the big game for the second straight year. Check out all the action this week at betonline.net as teams take the final step to reach the championship. Always available online or your mobile device. Visit betonline.net today. Bring the game home at betonline.net.
Appliances may work on your schedule, but they quit on theirs. At Atlantic Coast Appliance, we'll get your appliances back up and running in no time at all. Our factory-trained and certified technicians have repaired more than 100,000 appliances over the past 35 years, servicing Jacksonville to St. Augustine and Ponte Vedra with a 90-day warranty on parts and labor, plus a 100% satisfaction guarantee. When your appliances quit, we're ready to get started. For quality repair at a price that's fair, visit AtlanticCoastAppliance.com.
This message is sponsored by the Florida A&M University Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Now that medical marijuana is being used in Florida, you need information. Just log on to the Mary YouTube videocast to learn about medical marijuana use in Florida. We talk to doctors, nurses, pastors, pharmacists, legislators, and law enforcement officials to bring you the most up-to-date information about medical marijuana use in Florida. Subscribe and never miss an update.
I'm Action News Jack's Tanika Hughes, and one of the great things about living in Jacksonville is our diverse communities. It's so important that the local stories we cover in our newscasts reflect the people who live here. That's why we've launched Action News Jack's Gets Real, to get real on issues like racism, housing challenges, and unequal access to health care. It's having difficult conversations, as well as celebrating people making a difference. This is Action News Jack's Gets Real. Real talk, real change.
Are you a golfer? Is someone you love a big golfer? Are your clients or customers golfers? If so, you must right now get the best golf card in Jacksonville. It's a discount card for 8 premier courses, and as a bonus with this exclusive golf card, you receive free things like from Smoothie King, a free smoothie, a free hat from Dome Hats, a free shirt from Baker Sports. It's only $95, but quantities are limited. Go to ESPN690.com to see all the details. Save hundreds of dollars at ESPN690.com with a Dream 18 card.
What's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from ESPN 690 and Action Sports Jax. Your smart speaker brings ESPN 690 into your home office. All you got to do is say Amazon Echo, Google Home, play ESPN 690, and enjoy that succulent sports coverage.
Keyshawn Johnson.
You took Kyler Murray and stuck him in Baltimore. I believe you'll get the same thing Arizona's getting now.
He knows the NFL.
But don't say that if he was in Baltimore right now, they'd have a better shot at winning the Super Bowl. No, that's a lie.
And the NFL knows him.
If you took those weapons that's in Arizona and dropped them in Baltimore along with Kyler Murray, that's a different story.
Get inside the NFL with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin every morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN News.
Austin Lane.
The beer that made Milwaukee famous. Giannis Antetokounmpo, big sign, the deer that made Milwaukee famous.
Brent Martineau.
I can buy that.
Yeah, okay. That's all I'm throwing out there.
I can definitely buy that.
Hashtag and trademark. So if somebody try to steal it, I'm suing you.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
If I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm like, oh yeah, last game I was 16 for 35. I threw for 160 yards. I had 2 INTs. Okay, Zubin, whatever the spread is on this game, give it to me and more for Green Bay. I'm just going to tell you that right now. This is going to be a touchdown or more. I don't know why people love to kind of pour gasoline on somebody who is already one of the most competitive people that you ever meet. Whenever you hear Aaron Rodgers, a guy when Jordan Love gets drafted, he's like, all right, cool. I got you. I don't know why people provide ammunition for people like that. And yes, it may have been white noise what I heard Bruce Arians say, but then I hear something like that, I'm like, that's just stupid in my opinion.
I'm not even paying attention. I'm on Twitter right now. Who is that? Who is it?
That's Jay Williams.
Jay Williams,
from Jay, Zubin, and Keyshawn.
It's
ESPN 690, 6 a.m. until 10 a.m.
It's a great show. Hey, I've got Hooters texting us right now, Brett.
We just had the greatest moment in the history of our show.
You want to talk about
it's coming up with Brendan Ponsel from JacksCoastalHomes.com as well, but...
Yeah. No, it's great, too.
Hootie.
Yeah.
Not Hootie and the Blowfish.
No, but he's good, too.
He's good.
What's up, Darius?
But Hootie from Hooters.
Yes. The mascot, if you will.
After sharing your story about Hooters and Joe Cullen.
And he actually listened to the story.
Hootie says, always here if you need to talk, bud.
Yeah.
He tagged you, Austin Lane.
Tag me in it. Yeah. Hey, I'm on the Hooters radar right now. But you know what? I'm not. We are, because we're a team.
I appreciate you carrying me.
Yeah.
and by the way, We both got jacked up about Hootie tweeting the show.
Yes, you better believe it.
I mean, I said it's the greatest moment in the history of our show.
I think it is.
Going to Hooters tonight.
I mean, the bar's a little low, but you know what?
True. Small sample.
Or high. A small sample. Brent, I'm with you. Let's go. And you know what? Like, this can be some kind of crossover that we can do. Like, if we get the endorsement, we'll see what happens there. But I'm just saying, if Kuz moves on to greener pastures, we can start recruiting someone to come take his job from Hooters.
Every Thursday. We could recruit that. Every Thursday
I don't
from
know
Hooters.
if I'd be offended.
You should be, because if that's an insult. No, it's not. No. Best wings in Jacksonville, I'll tell you what.
Hey, listen, out of all the times you might be replaced in your career, Kuz, this would be from the compliment department.
Okay.
Can you hula hoop?
I can.
Good, though, or not?
I think I'd be pretty decent.
No, I'll be the judge of that.
That
we'll
means
see.
You can't. Do you hula hoop like you golf?
Not at all.
All right, let's bring in Brandon Ponsel from JacksCoastalHomes.com. Sorry, Brandon, we got a little excited.
Big day on our show, Brandon.
It's a big moment. You're part of it.
How you guys doing?
We're good.
Hey, never been better, Brandon.
Never been better.
Never been better.
I know you just jumped in, but the story is Austin played for Joe Cullen, who looks like he's going to be the defensive coordinator for the Jags. When Austin was playing for the Jags, he was the D-line coach.
Yep.
And so he was telling stories earlier in the show about Joe Cullen, and one of them had to do about a tweet that Austin had about Hooters, a trip to Hooters. So
Yes.
That's how we got here, Brandon. I just wanted to update you.
Yeah.
And is Austin a big fan of this hire?
As far as Joe Cullen's concerned?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Brandon, I have old playbooks. I have old schemes. So, I mean, I'm excited to cover a guy that I actually played for before. Yes.
And, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Looks like Darryl Bevell on the offensive side. I think it's kind of like somebody asked me this the other day. I said, I'm in a little bit of an Urban I trust mode.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you're not going to like every single thing that happens. It's hard to get over the moon about everything. But you got Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer right now. You know what? I don't need I'm not going to be a buzzkill about that.
Yeah. Brent, you know what? Urban's got the keys to the car. We're sitting in the back seat. Just don't kick his seat and see what he does.
Trust the process.
Exactly.
What's the process? Speaking of kicking the seat, how many kids are kicking your seat right now?
Just the 1-year-old.
I asked this question earlier in the show, Brandon Ponsel from JacksCoastalHomes.com. When you join us every week on the picks, and by the way, you're killing us on the picks. But I asked this question: if I could turn your TV on for just one of the games this weekend, but the other one I'm going to turn off, which one are you picking?
Give me Brady Rodgers. Got plenty of time, plenty of years to watch Mahomes and Josh Allen battle it out.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you. See,
Rodgers, Brady, that's a matchup. We've never got to see that matchup either because they've never met up in the Super Bowl.
All right, well then let's start there. Bucks Packers 3.5 for the Packers. That's it. Just 3.5. We're going to do the over-under as well, but what do you think in this game? Do you like the Pack at home?
I've been super bullish on the Packers, and so I saw something in that Bucs defense last week, and I think they're going to keep it close. So I'm going to take the 3 in the hook and take the Bucs plus 3.5, but I do think the Packers advance to the Super Bowl.
Okay. How about the over-under 51.5?
I'm going to go with the under. I think both teams are going to kind of fill each other out, and I think that Bucs defense is going to come to play, and I think it just barely goes under, high 40s.
Listen, Brent, as far as I'm concerned, I would do myself a disservice and my community of Iola, Wisconsin a disservice and the pickle disservice if I don't pick the Buccaneers here. Because every time I go against the Packers, I've gone with the Packers twice, and they burn me. When I go against the Packers, they make me look foolish. So in honor of that, I'm taking the Buccaneers over.
And by the way, Antonio Brown's not playing.
Not playing.
Been ruled out.
Yep.
So that's an interesting development in this game. I'm going to take the Packers here, guys. I think the Packers, but I do like the under. I think these are two quarterbacks that will sustain drives, which means limiting drives and therefore scoring opportunities. Yeah. And so I'm going to take the under here. So you say Bucks over?
Yes.
I say Packers and under. All right, let's move to the next game. Bills and Chiefs, 3.5. The Chiefs are favored by. What do you like, Brandon?
The Bills Mafia. They've got the juice. They've got the swag. The Chiefs are just haven't played a lot of meaningful football lately, and now Mahomes is banged up. I think the Bills go in there and definitely cover. Look out for the outright win and trip to the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Whoa.
What
And
about
what was the total?
54 is the total here.
54. I'm going to take the under on that. Playoff games are a little tighter. You don't see high-scoring games in the playoffs in the 60s, so I'll take my chances it stays under.
All right, Brent, go ahead. You know how I feel about it. I got the Chiefs winning the whole thing, so go ahead and give me the Chiefs minus 3.5 and give me the under.
Chiefs and under. Okay. You know what? Okay, I'll do this too. I try to stay away from saying just because I picked the earlier, I'm going to do it this way.
Sure.
But I think I am going to come on the Bills side for this.
Good.
There's a I have this gut, kind of like you, Brandon. I got this gut like I said earlier in the show, the wave of support for the Bills right now, I think even other teams around the country feel like that's kind of a cool story. Mm-hmm. You know, the Bills fans have suffered a lot. And then, by the way, we will flip the script and say, will they ever win a Super Bowl? Because if they go back and lose again, well, that's a different story. But I kind of feel that wave going, and I feel like the Chiefs, man, they might have been a little lucky to survive last week. If you go all the way back for the last month, they haven't played unreal football. You can make the case the Bills have played better football. So I'm going to take the Bills, and I'm going to go over in a shootout.
Ooh.
Josh Allen out-duels Patrick Mahomes.
Wow.
In a shootout.
Okay.
How do you like that? How do you like them apples, they say? Brandon Ponsel from JacksCoastalHomes.com. Real estate business picking up, man. I mean, now we're into the new year. The holidays are in the rear view. What's happening in the real estate world?
It's just going to be a crazy, crazy hot year. There's a big kind of transfer of wealth. You're seeing it. You don't see it on Main Street. You're seeing it on Wall Street, and you're going to see it in the stock market. Lots of people are doing well in this pandemic. I know there's a lot of people suffering, but real estate is a finite asset, and people are acquiring investments, and it's a great holding. And the market in Jacksonville is going to be hotter than ever in 2021. So don't wait, though. Don't try to time the market. If you're in the market to buy a home, just find something you like and move forward with it. Interest rates are still phenomenal.
Yeah, that's good advice. And by the way, you've been bullish on it for months, ever since we had you on. I mean, you've been saying that 2021 is still a hot market. Is it the typical areas, too, or are there some areas under the radar now that you've gotten to know the Jacksonville area even better? You know, Nacatees of the world, the beaches, you know, Neptune Beach, Atlantic Beach. Are those still the hot spots?
They're pretty much, you can throw a dart, and almost anywhere in Jacksonville is going to should have some good gains over the next 5 years. Obviously, the beach has the attraction of higher end investors who want, you know, close to the water property. But really, there's not a bad area to really invest in. Even speculative purchases downtown, banking on a redevelopment. So there's just Jacksonville's got a lot of positive momentum right now.
All right, Brandon Ponsel from Jack's Coastal Homes. Go visit them at jackscoastalhomes.com and check out the website for all your real estate needs. If you're buying, if you're selling, if you just have questions, we love kind of grilling Brandon about the real estate market and educating ourselves and you at the same time. Hey, enjoy the games, man. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, you guys too. Thanks, guys.
All right, that is Brandon Ponsel, jackscoastalhomes.com.
Brent,
what?
How come we don't do the UFC picks? We have Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier. We could win Conor, Dustin, and then over or under 2.5 rounds.
Let's do it when we come back.
We can't do it now?
Well,
the segment's over. Brandon's gone. Hooters was watching. That was our chance, and you blew it.
What? They're not going anywhere.
Who's not going anywhere?
Hooters. They're going to still watch the next segment.
They responded back again.
Again?
Yeah, man.
We're on a roll.
Locked and loaded.
We need like a hootie here.
Yeah, let's get a hootie in the studio. A neon hootie. And then a neon Darius Rucker to go with the hootie.
Yes.
Back-to-back hooties. Back-to-back hooties. Let's go.
This.
Only, hey, where else going to find that?
We better get some wings
I'm
with
not
that.
sure if I have to dump that.
You got to dump that, man. That's all good.
Yeah, we got to get
it's
some
like
wings
I said,
with that.
tids, we're fine, man.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, boy. When we come
Touchdowns,
back,
man.
I do want to ask you about UFC. McGregor is back.
I don't think this show takes UFC very seriously, Brent, so it's fine.
It's time to do it.
Yeah, McGregor's good. Is good.
Are we giving?
Punch him.
Is he really, or is McGregor going to kill him? And we giving away something too. I think UFC related.
Yeah,
How about that?
A really cool gift, actually, or a prize. I guess you'd call it a prize.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know what it is? I do.
I kind of
had it explained to me. This is a really unique way to watch the UFC pay-per-view.
Do you think it'll be like a way going forward? People are going to do this more often?
It makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
And if that's not a tease, I don't know what is.
We'll be back, and you can win and hear more about it
fight.
on ESPN 690. I was going to go with the Hooters mention.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Friday. I'm Jake Mitchell. New Jags head coach Urban Meyer is not wasting any time hiring his staff. Jacksonville welcomes former Ravens D-line coach Joe Cullen as he is expected to be named the defensive coordinator of the Jaguars. Here's Jags new GM Trent Baalke discussing whether or not the first pick is an easy decision for them this year.
Easy, I don't know that word exists in the National Football League, so I'd certainly put you in the driver's seat, but there are no easy decisions in the National Football League, and you work through the process, you do the best job you can, and then you make the decision based on the knowledge that you've acquired.
And the NCAA placed Notre Dame's football program on probation for a year because a former assistant coach had impermissible off-campus recruiting contact with a high school player in January of 2019. Sports Center Update is brought to you by Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge.
Hey, boss, how's it going?
How's it going? Oh, let me tell you how it's going. So far this year, I've broken my pinky toe, had a flat tire, and currently I'm trying to pass a kidney stone the size of Rhode Island.
Well, karma strikes again.
What?
Nothing. Oh, look, it's the first Crooks R Us survey of 2021. They're asking crooks like us to list the top reasons we avoid safe touch houses.
There's the crash and smash technology, the video monitoring.
Yeah, but what's number one?
Gotta be the two-way communicator.
That's what I said.
Oh, yeah. The two-way communicator leads to verified alarms, which lead to faster response times, which are all very bad for us crooks.
Which all just circles back to the Crooks R Us golden rule. Stay away from safe touch houses.
Yeah, thanks, Captain Obvious.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Hi, it's Brian Kilmeade for Phil Aiken Home Team Keller Williams Realty. I'm talking with Greg and Gary about their recent home sale. Why did you call Phil Aiken?
We called Phil Aiken because we had heard that his team will sell your house quickly and for more money than any of the other realtors in town.
Tell us what happened.
Phil Aiken and his A-team, they will make the process very easy. Sold in 4 days and got over asking price.
Well, that's great. So how did you think they were able to sell it so fast?
Because Phil has the buyers and they have the team that can get the job done quickly and stress-free.
What would you tell a friend who is looking for a real estate agent to sell their home?
Would I recommend Phil Aiken and the A-team? Absolutely.
Well, the results speak for themselves, right? Phil Aiken and his team have the systems and will even guarantee to sell your home in writing or buy it himself.
Yes, we got better results than we expected.
Thanks, Gary. Friends, hire the agent with the buyers looking to buy a home right now. Call Phil Aiken. Call 500-PHIL. That's 500-PHIL or visit philhasthebuyers.com.
For the ones who know that a little late is always too late. And that the clock doesn't stop just because you're missing a part. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry. And our Keep Stock inventory management solutions help ensure you have the right stuff in the right place at exactly the right time. Visit Grainger.com/keepstock to learn more. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Hey, do you owe more than $25,000 on your car, a truck, or that toy in the driveway? Refinance your auto loan with One-to-One Financial. We'll not only lower your payments, but we'll put $200 cash in your pocket. Plus, we have the lowest loan rates in town. Make some room in your budget and put more cash in your pocket. When you refinance with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Apply today at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Support local businesses, get discounted golf, and how about some free stuff? It's the Dream 18 card on ESPN690.com. Discounted golf at Southampton, Osprey Cove, Eagle Landing, Queens Harbor, Amelia River, St. John's Golf and Country Club, Hidden Hills, and Fleming Island Golf Club. And you heard the word free. How about a free smoothie from Smoothie King, free shirt from Baker Sports, and a free hat from Dome Hats, plus other local business discounts. Save hundreds of dollars, all for $95. It's the Dream 18 card on ESPN690.com.
Does learning a language feel like this?
No habla español? Hablo. It's hablo? Yes. It's hablo.
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
Since my husband is from Guatemala, I'll apply what I've learned in Babbel to our real-life situations.
The app is so easy to use and it's so practical. It helps you learn things that you will actually need.
Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com, Babbel.com.
Unfiltered. Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mahente.
You actually shouldn't have never benched Mitch Trubisky when he was 3-0. You probably would have put yourself in a much better place right now today.
Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Zubin. Weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio, your smart speaker, or on ESPN News.
I really think there was one miss in our industry of 2020, and that was only using Conor one time. Conor fought on January 20th of last year, and he made it very clear in his post-fight speech, I want to fight 3 more times this year, give him a total of 4. He hasn't been back yet since. That wasn't his doing. He asked to fight. He trained to fight. He was ready. I think if we're all fair with ourselves, that was a mistake of 2020. I don't think Dana White lets it happen again.
Back this weekend.
He is.
Fight Island.
Do you know who that was talking there, Brent? So I can go ahead and collect my point and you get a -1. He's been on the show a couple times.
Not Helwani, but the Kale.
Yeah, Kale. Yes.
Kale Sonnen.
Kale Sonnen? Kale Sonnen?
What is it?
Is he chock full of antioxidants and vitamins? Kale Sonnen? Chael Sonnen.
Chael. C-H-A-A-E-L.
Missed it by that much, Brent.
That's pretty good.
That wasn't bad. But, Kale. So you don't get a point.
Kale.
You don't get a point for that.
By the way, if I never had heard him before when we did interview him, I would have called him Kale.
For sure.
Well, I would have said he just spells Kale different.
And you know what? And that's why I do the MMA interviews. That's true. And that's why you're never around for my guess.
I didn't care if he talked baseball. If I saw it C-H-A-E-L, I would say Kale.
You're going Kale. I got you.
I would think it would be more of a K sound than
a ch. I mean, that's C-H, Brent. I'm not sure if you've been to a school before, but ch is C-H.
By the way, Kuz tried to give me a hint on that. I heard him say Sonnen, so I had to come up with his first name. That's
so then
happened.
You didn't even know his last name, did you? Yeah, okay.
If he had given me his first or last, I would have put it together.
Yeah.
But now I wish he had said Chael instead of Kale.
Well, hey, nobody talks it better in MMA than ESPN 690. We got Kale Sonnen on talking.
What do you think?
About what?
Of the McGregor fight.
I mean, can I just talk about the whole card quick? You think or not? Or should I just go McGregor?
Well, no, we can talk more about it. I want to give you enough time.
I got you.
How about this? How about we talk about how we can give away something?
I like that. Now, this is a very unique prize.
You can talk about the card because I want to give you a chance to talk about the card.
Thank you.
In the 5 o'clock hour. But, no, you just don't. You're going to run out of time, man.
Give me one thing as the show is going to an end.
Yeah,
I got you.
Okay. But overall, the fact that is there any surprise that McGregor's back? How big of a deal is it right now? How much do you think the casual, will be locked in to see what happens with McGregor?
I'll say this about Conor McGregor. You're seeing the next evolution of Conor McGregor because what put him on the map in the first place, it was the brash talking, right? It was the style. It was the mic skills. It was the swag, if you will. And he had the skill set to back all that up. Well, now what you're seeing, and keep in mind, this is a rematch with Dustin Poirier here that they fought a while ago where Conor McGregor knocked him out in Ireland. But this is a rematch. And that first fight had a lot of bad blood. They couldn't stand each other. McGregor was doing the classic Conor McGregor trash talk. This is a new Conor McGregor. We see his son around a lot. This is like a family man, respectful Conor McGregor. So with that being said, it's going to be interesting to see if that fire is still there, because let's be honest, Conor McGregor doesn't need to fight for money anymore. Like,
Yeah,
we always
he's
talk
got
about
enough of it.
We always talk
I mean,
about
he's got the
prize
whiskey.
fighters. Yeah, he's got the whiskey, man.
Proper.
So proper number 12, I believe. So with that being said, like, this guy doesn't have to fight for money, and that's a big reason why people want to fight, because they're called prize fighters for a reason. You get in, you get out, you make your money, and you still have your health. McGregor's talking about a legacy now. He wants to go down as the best MMA fighter of all time and one of the best mixed martial artists of all time. So this
He isn't already there?
He's not there. No.
Okay.
In my opinion, he's not there. So this fight right here, and then the fight's coming up, because I don't think he's going to be done after this one. I think he's got at least 3 or more fights, maybe even this year yet, Dana White's talking about. These fights coming up now are for the Conor McGregor legacy.
All right. How about this? This is kind of cool, right? We're going to give away this now. Kuz, you ready if we do this?
It's a cool prize.
Sure. 904-362-9901. And we got a couple of these, so you can win. Doesn't have to be caller 3. First come, first serve. It's a one-night-only event tomorrow night at Epic St. Augustine Pop-Up Drive-In.
Yep.
Limited quantities. The early bird general admission tickets are $59 while supplies last. General admission tickets are $69. All tickets are sold per vehicle up to 6 people, but we're giving away a couple of these.
So what we're talking about basically is you can go to a drive-in theater, watch the UFC pay-per-view in the luxury of your own car.
Yeah, with a group of people.
With a group of people.
Right?
Yeah,
and so
absolutely.
904-362-9901. If you want one of those for the Epic St. Augustine Pop-Up Drive-In, you can call right now. Call Kuz.
Yeah.
And if you are looking for tickets to that event, Ticketmaster.com for that.
And I'm not sure like what the weather's going to be like, but can you imagine if you got like a truck or something like that for tailgating? Dude, tailgate during the fight. Why not? It's drive-in.
Drive-in UFC fight. That's kind of cool.
That's not bad.
It's a good.
That's
I
not
like
bad.
It. That's
I like
being
that.
creative. So there you go. 904-362-9901. If you want to go, give Kuz a call right now. 904-362-9901. While supplies last, while the giveaway lasts here on ESPN 690. I do want you to break down the card a little bit more on McGregor, because it's a big story of the weekend. It's more than give me one thing. It's definitely that. And we'll also talk a little more about the Jags and what's going on in the landscape of the NFL and how the catering to players is happening in a big-time way in most organizations. All eyes are on Houston with what's going on. But there's a reason why I think we're hearing some messages from these newly hired coaches that cater toward the players, because you don't want what's going on in Houston. You don't want what has happened in Jacksonville over the last couple of years. I want to talk about that a little bit more when we come back on ESPN 690.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com. Happy New Year from the team at CGC Water. This new year, our gift to you is clean drinking water. A Connecticut system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean water. Right now, CGC Water is offering a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with a purchase of a Connecticut Premier softener. If you're still not filtering your water, you are the filter. Schedule your free water test today and get peace of mind knowing your family's water is safe water. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Remember this limited time offer, a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier softener. Special holiday financing still available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer. Have a happy, safe, and prosperous new year.
It's time for some straight talk. Look, we all drop our phones. It happens. You fumble it, crack it, splash it. Well, Straight Talk Wireless now offers this new Platinum Unlimited plan that includes phone protection. Just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data, plus 20 gigs of hotspot, 100 gigs of cloud storage, and more. All on the best network. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. See Mobile Protect terms and conditions at Asurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Dealing with battery problems? We can help you out and get you ready for the colder weather ahead. Let's start with a free battery test. If you just need a free charge, we can help with that too. And if it's time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination. Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2019.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Are you a golfer? Is someone you love a big golfer? Are your clients or customers golfers? If so, you must right now get the best golf card in Jacksonville. It's a discount card for 8 premier courses, and as a bonus with this exclusive golf card, you receive free things like from Smoothie King, a free smoothie, a free hat from Dome Hats, a free shirt from Baker Sports. It's only $95, but quantities are limited. Go to ESPN690.com to see all the details. Save hundreds of dollars at ESPN690.com with a Dream 18 card.
I'm Action News Jax Tanika Hughes, and one of the great things about living in Jacksonville is our diverse communities. It's so important that the local stories we cover in our newscasts reflect the people who live here. That's why we've launched Action News Jax Gets Real, to get real on issues like racism, housing challenges, and unequal access to health care. It's having difficult conversations, as well as celebrating people making a difference. This is Action News Jax Gets Real. Real talk, real change.
Nothing is certain except death and taxes. And your appliance is breaking down as soon as they're out of warranty. At Atlantic Coast Appliance, we can't help with the first two, but we've got the third one covered. Our factory-trained and certified technicians have been repairing appliances for more than 35 years, with a 90-day warranty on parts and labor and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. For quality repair at a price that's fair, trust Atlantic Coast Appliance. AtlanticCoastAppliance.com. That's AtlanticCoastAppliance.com.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Five o'clock hour here on a Friday. Man, what a few weeks it's been. What a month and change it's been. It kind of finally feels like things are slowing a little bit in terms of the hype train, and now we're settling in, right? Urban Meyer, Trent Baalke. Yeah. We've heard from Shad Khan. I think this is something I thought about the other day. We've heard from Shad Khan 3 times in the last 3 weeks. 3 times.
Yeah.
You might have to go 2 calendar years to hear from Shad Khan 3 times. Seriously.
You're not wrong.
And I wonder if this means he'll talk even more during the seasons now.
Yeah.
Like, people want to hear from Shad Khan. Mm-hmm. Will he be more available like that? I don't know. Now, he's had reason to talk.
Yeah.
But he also didn't have to come into this next one with Trent Baalke, this latest Zoom call. And he did. So I think that's even interesting. So now where does it go? We have Senior Bowl next week. By the way, shapes up like we're going to be there for a couple of days. I'm not going to tell you about what's after that, but stay tuned, as Shad Khan would say.
Oh, man, you're not going to drop the schedule quite yet?
No, it's a crazy schedule, but I want to make sure we're locked in and ready to go. Just you'll catch us on the road quite a bit over the next couple weeks. Just let's leave it at that. And then obviously we lead into the Super Bowl. And ironically, we're not going to the Super Bowl, so on the road doesn't include the Super Bowl. We're not doing the Tampa Super Bowl. We just don't know how it's going to be covered and what's going to be there for us. So it's very hard to predict what to do. We're taking a little bit different of a road trip, so we'll tell you about that next week and on our journey. So I kind of look at the calendar, man, and I go, okay, we're up to the Super Bowl. After the Super Bowl, we got a little Daytona 500. But in the NFL world, we're really going to start looking at like these mock drafts. We're going to start looking Shock Your Mock.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We look at what obviously the the evaluation process is going to be different this year. There's no combine.
Yeah.
Then these pro days are going to now take on a more important role because, we've argued this before. There's two things that I've argued in the past. Do we need the pro days anymore? Yeah. The pro days aren't for the high-profile guy anymore. They're for the other guy, the other guy or the JU player that used to go over to Gainesville to get in front of people. So there was value. But in terms of the top prospects, well, that's the combine. That's plenty of tape they've already had. They've already done their work. You almost don't even need to go to some of those pro days. Well, now you're going to have to go to the pro days. The other day that I say is silly or time period of the year is OTAs. What's the value of them? And J.C. Tretter, the NFLPA president, the Players Union president, has basically said, yeah, I think we can do away with those. And we haven't seen a ruling or where that might land. But do they need to do the offseason after what we just saw this year? Yeah. Another topic that we'll have down the road. But we're getting into that offseason, and now we're probably some 6 weeks away from free agency and all the rest. So the buzz certainly will pick back up. But I think it has leveled out, at least for the moment.
No, without a doubt, and obviously you definitely feel for some of those small school guys. I always come from the philosophy, though, if you have good tape, you will get a shot someplace because that's just the way the NFL works now. If you're too good to be denied wherever you are, whether it's D3, whether it's where was Ben Barch at again? He was at
St. John's.
St. John's, yeah. They're going to find you. So obviously it could be a little bit of a longer road right now, but if you got the skills, you're definitely going to get a chance.
Okay, let's go UFC real quick. I want you to get your chance here before we get back into some football talk.
Sure.
I've got a conversation. Here's the headline of my conversation coming up on football, okay? In college, it's crystal clear to me, and I've always said this, the college game's about the head coach. Mm-hmm. In the NFL, it's about the player. Mm-hmm. And so how interesting is that dynamic here in Jacksonville when you have Urban Meyer? It used to be all around the head coach.
It's interesting.
But now it's about the player. So that's the headline of our conversation coming up about football in just a moment. But this UFC card, overall, we know the headliner is McGregor. Yeah. How's the rest of it?
Well, listen, the rest of the card, listen, it's one of the best cards of the year, if not the best card of the year. Anytime Conor McGregor is on a card, obviously fighters are chomping at the bit to get on that card because that means all eyes will be on it. So I can sit here and break down, fight by fight, but let's be honest. You guys want to hear what I have to say about Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier. And I'm not oblivious to that, so let's get into that real quick. Conor McGregor is the biggest name in mixed martial arts, right? You could say Khabib, and then there's a school of thought that would argue with that. But to me, Conor McGregor is still the household name. He's the polarizing figure, maybe in all professional combat sports, even in boxing. When we talk about Conor McGregor and what makes him so great, Brent, if you look through the facade, and I call it a facade with all due respect, but if you look past the $1 million watch and you look past the tattoos that he has, and you look past all the trash talk and the proper 12, you have a man who is considered, in my opinion, one of the best strikers of all time. Now, why do I say that? Muay Thai, kickboxing, boxing, sambo, there's a million things that you can train to be a successful MMA fighter. But at the end of the day, don't get it twisted. It's super simple. You hit somebody's button in their chin and they go to sleep. You choke somebody out, they go to sleep. That's what you're trying to do, okay? And in terms of hitting that button, cracking somebody on the jaw, nobody does a better job of that than Conor McGregor. He always lives by the philosophy, which I love, precision beats power and timing beats speed. He has that in spades. That's why he's such a, an awe-inspiring guy to watch in the cage because, yes, he is polarizing with his attitude, but his skill set where he's able to find that button. And it's one thing, Brent, if we're on the heavy bag, we're hitting it and everything like that. Yeah, anybody can throw a punch, but try throwing a punch accurately when you're in a firefight, when guys are throwing punches back. That's where, obviously, the cream of the crop can rise a little bit, and Conor McGregor is the cream of the crop. Now, he's fighting a guy in Dustin Poirier who he's fought before. And Dustin Poirier is no slouch himself. They fought back in 2014 in Dublin. Obviously, it was a very, crazy atmosphere in terms of Conor McGregor. Poirier got clipped the first round. And since then, Poirier has become a champion. He's fought for the belt and has become considered one of the best fighters at his weight division. So Poirier, after that fight, learned a lot. So let's just quick break it down. What's going to happen? We've seen in the past with Conor McGregor, how do you beat him? You have to have a good grappling base, and you have to have the ability to push the pressure and take a shot, a la Nate Diaz and a la Khabib, two guys that have beat Conor McGregor. Dustin Poirier, the first fight that he had with Conor McGregor, he got hit in the back of the head. It wasn't a clean shot. Didn't get cracked on the chin, but got hit in the back of the head, kind of by the ear. It was a legal shot, but it was kind of consider it a lucky shot. Needless to say, though, Dustin Poirier has felt Conor's power. So he knows in the back of his mind that he can't absorb those shots, especially a shot on the chin. So with that being said, I don't think Poirier's got the skills necessary to beat a Conor McGregor. Now, yes, Poirier can take a shot. He's got good cardio. But his wrestling, I just don't think is high caliber enough to take McGregor down and keep him down. And as far as striking on the feet, I think Conor McGregor has him there too. So I can see Conor McGregor definitely taking this. He's saying he's going to knock him out in the first 60 seconds. I think it goes round 2. Give me Conor McGregor with the knockout round 2.
Wow, that's interesting. And it all comes down potentially, from what I understand, what you just said, basically the grappling game. I mean, if you can do that against Conor McGregor, you got a chance.
Exactly.
Along with taking the shot, like you said. Other interesting thing about this is, go ahead.
No, I was going to say too. Well, so we talked about this too before. Khabib, right? And you actually called this, right? So Khabib. He's supposedly retired, right? And he's retired at 29-0 because of his father passed away, and he didn't want to go in the cage anymore without his father. And you said this. I remember, like, are you sure he's going to retire? I'm like, if of all people are going to retire, it's going to be Khabib. Well, Khabib right now he's going to this fight.
Yeah.
And supposedly the speculation is he's going to see what happens in this fight, and if he's impressed by somebody, he might come back for his 30th fight. So there you go with that.
So there was a lot of conversation at the time.
Yes.
Regarding that. One other thought. I think this is wild to the average, fight fan. This is in Fight Island.
Yes.
And so it's like going to be 7 o'clock in the morning. We figured out, right? 7 o'clock in the morning when they fight. Real time over there, local time, because it's going to be on around 10 o'clock here?
Yeah, so I think by the time McGregor and Poirier enter the cage, it'll be around 10 o'clock, and that translates to whatever, like 7. So, like, essentially, these fighters will have to get up. And keep in mind, this is the main event. So imagine being, like, on the undercard. You have to get up, like, 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Well, you just don't go to bed. I mean,
I guess not. But, like,
I'd rather fight at 2 in the morning than 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather not fight, quite frankly. But...
Well, and I'll be honest with you, I'm very curious to see how this is going to respond to the fighters, because we've seen in the past when they've had these fights, they've actually adjusted to the time that's there, in Saudi Arabia, right? At the Yaz Islands. So, like, we've seen them adjust to that time before. Well, now they're trying to adjust, I guess, to the U.S. schedule. So I'm curious to see how these fighters' bodies are going to respond from being on the U.S. schedule, because keep in mind, they've probably been there for maybe 3 or 4 days. Like, I'm not sure how long your body needs to acclimate, but I think some of these fighters would be a little tired when they go to the cage.
Well, yeah, I guess that's part of your training. I just think it's wild because we don't see that in sport. Nobody does that in sports. Now, they might slide times. You might play later at night. Listen, the NCAA tournament, the championship games played at like 9:06. Okay, so that's a little bit later, but there's a lot of basketball games that get played at 9 during the college basketball season, right? The NBA plays later at night. I mean, the NBA doesn't cater to a TV audience to try to play at 8 in the morning. Now, it wouldn't make sense to either, so this isn't apples to apples. But golf, this is, by the way, Steele Stewart's line. This is the closest UFC and golf have ever been together. 7 a.m. tee time in the cage. But even the British Open or any event like the Ryder Cup, that's we have to wake up and watch that. Now, part of that's daylight too. But I just think it's really interesting from a marketing standpoint. That is carrying more weight than potentially the athlete being in the prime, best condition, shape, time. Because if I ask you this, right? Your next fight, which maybe is a couple months. Would you rather fight at 10 o'clock at night, or 8 in the morning?
At night all day, because that's what I'm accustomed to.
But even if you had to adjust to do it, you'd still wonder what your body would do, right?
Without a doubt.
And so it's an odd thing that the competitor has to adjust that drastically to fulfill the marketing time frame, which in this case is late evening in the United States.
And I would love to pick Dana White's brain on this too, because obviously he's trying to cater to the U.S. fans, right? And I'm not sure on the grand scheme of things, how many more pay-per-view buys would take place in the States as opposed to Europe. Yes, you have an American fighting in Dustin Poirier, but let's be honest. People are tuning in to watch Conor McGregor.
Absolutely.
And, I'm not sure what the time difference is in Ireland, but one would think that the Ireland fan base, they're going to watch it whenever, but maybe you'd cater to them a little more than even the American fan base. So
that's a good point.
It's curious the fact that the U.S. fan base is getting catered to, but, When's the last time you saw Americans go crazy over like an American fighter in UFC? You know what I mean? Like you have John Jones, who's arguably the best fighter of all time, but you don't see people in the streets holding, the U.S. flag saying, let's go John Jones. Like it's not that hardcore.
Well, which speaks to what you just said, is there's a chance, and I know this sounds silly and it might be wrong, but there's a chance Conor McGregor has more appeal in the U.S. than even in his home country.
Maybe.
There's a chance. I find that unlikely, but at least if it's not more, it's got to be pretty darn close to cater to him in this sense.
Well, I'm going to say this, though. I mean, pre-pandemic, the rumor and I think the plan is that they're going to have fights in Ireland, and they were going to have them in a soccer stadium of like 70 to 80,000 people.
Okay,
and they plan on selling that out.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, don't get it twisted. Like, he's got a huge following in Ireland, and really Ireland is what put him on the map in the first place.
Nonetheless, the United States is a big appeal for this event.
It's
obvious.
It's a big appeal. Like, people are going to tune in, buy the pay-per-view. But in terms of like the hardcore fans, like, I don't know. It's interesting.
Okay. Well, interesting to see Conor McGregor back at it tomorrow. And again, I will say this from my vantage point, as unless Austin says, "Hey, take a look at this" or watch this fight or whatever, I will be interested. I don't know if I'll be locked in, but either way, I'm going to be like searching around, finding out, okay, what's going on with the McGregor fight. Like he is one guy that I will say, okay, he does that for me more than Khabib does, more than John Jones does, more than anyone does.
Yeah.
I think Rousey had that appeal for a lot of people too. It's like, okay, everybody's talking about her. Let's see what she did.
Yeah.
But even bigger, obviously, is McGregor, and McGregor has that kind of appeal. And I think there's some of it's like you'd like to see him get his face bashed in sometimes because he yaps so much. But then there's other. We kind of like the villain nature of him. Like kind of put our arms around him. He's an interesting character in sports.
Well, and I'm telling you, man, I've watched like a lot of documentaries leading up to this fight, this past week, and Brent, believe me when I tell you, he's a changed man. It seems like having his family there, having his 2 kids there, like this is a different Conor McGregor here. Now we'll see what happens when they get in the cage, because in the cage is different, right? And it's all about business. But expect to see, if Conor McGregor wins on the microphone, even expect to see a different type of dude.
I read an article where he spent like 2.5 months in Portugal, I think, to get ready and train and get the cardio back, all that stuff.
I'm sure he had a yacht over there too and stuff.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Portugal's very nice.
It is nice.
So he could have done that. Anyway, did we enough UFC talk to counter yesterday's golf?
Let me go ahead and see if Hooters texted us back quick. I think we're okay. Yeah.
Okay.
We're good. We're good.
So back to football now we go. But anyway, I did enjoy that conversation. So check out the fights. Here's the deal on the football side of things as we kind of put a bow on the week of Urban Meyer and Trent Baalke now and all the rest. There's something that I saw a tweet from Robert Saleh, some sound from Robert Saleh with the New York Jets. And this is what made me think of the topic. It referred my mind back to last Friday's news conference with Urban Meyer. And Urban, in that news conference, I still am yet to count up how many times, but many times said, we need to have the best of the best for the player, for the player, for the player, for the player. It's like echoing in my mind, right?
Yeah.
And then I hear Saleh talking something similar. Now, Dan Campbell's news conference had a different feel. I didn't see the whole thing, but some of the highlights of it, that didn't necessarily jump out at me. How important is it to say I'm in it for the player right now in the NFL? Maybe more so than ever. And I'm not saying it wasn't important in the past, but we've seen the dynamic change. The brand is big. The power structure in terms of how much power the player has might be happening right now in Houston. Deshaun Watson can decide essentially if he wants to ever play again for the Houston Texans. Jalen Ramsey decided in Jacksonville. Yannick Ngakoue basically forced his way out of Jacksonville, whether the Jaguars wanted him or not. We've seen it happen. Minkah Fitzpatrick, there's other stories about it. And so my point here is I really feel like the coaches that have been hired in this cycle, or at least a couple of them, Urban Meyer included, Robert Saleh in New York, are in tune with that. They know that. They know that's an important part of it. Yeah, selling tickets, being good on the field, establishing your identity, being tough-nosed coach, playing fundamental football, being disciplined, all those things are important. But the one thing I continue to hear out of these news conferences is player, player, player. Listen to Robert Saleh and what he had to say. Just a little clip here in his in the latest media availability with the New York Jets.
In my heart, I do believe that there's a respect level with regards to how things get done when people are trying to do things together. Sometimes there's that notion of coaches coach, players play, and I've never taken to that notion. I believe that coaches and players are in this thing together. I believe that the investment that coaches put into players has to be the equivalent of the investment you put in your children. I mean, you got to invest everything you have in your heart and in your soul into those players because they're relying on you to help them be their absolute best so they can showcase their skills on Sunday. I think when players feel that investment and they feel that you're giving them everything you have, I think they can't help but reciprocate that investment and invest back in you as an individual. And so when you get that investment reciprocated and you got investments on both sides, it becomes personal. And when it becomes personal, it becomes very, very, very special.
So that's Robert Saleh talking. So you love that, right?
Well,
and don't you get the sense, though, when you say you love that there are 53 players on the Jets roster, and maybe there's 70 or whatever because of all the practice squad this year.
Yeah.
But they're tuned into what he's saying right now. He hasn't even addressed the team. But it's almost like Saleh is talking to the player.
Listen, because we've heard Urban Meyer say some of these things too. These are two guys right now that get it. They understand the landscape. You ever seen the show Westworld on HBO?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Kuz, you seen it? Westworld?
I never watched
it. I run across it and flipped by it.
Good, really good show. I recommend it. But in this show, basically it's about robots, right? And all of a sudden the robots become self-aware and they want better lives. What you're witnessing these past couple years in terms of the NFL is that you're seeing players become more self-aware. Whether it's with contracts, whether it's with grievances, whether it's with how they're being handled with coaches, GMs, the players are starting to speak out more and stick up for themselves more. And then doing that, they realize how much power they truly have. Like, for whatever reason, the past couple years, whether it's 2 years ago or 3 years ago, or whether it's like Le'Veon Bell, I don't know. But all of a sudden, these players woke up and said, you know what? The sheep outnumber the wolves. And that's where we're at right now. So it takes a special type of coach to see that. It takes a special type of coach to go, you know what? The landscape has changed, even in the past 5 years, and I have to cater to these guys. Because like I just said, at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, the players finally realize this, the sheep will outnumber the wolves.
Okay, so keeping that in mind, the context of where we've gone to, right? This was like, just think, Tom Coughlin, what did he come in and say? We're doing things my way, man. We win lunch. You better be here. I don't care if it's voluntary OTAs.
Yeah.
So take that dynamic from 2000 and what was that, 18 when they didn't show up, or maybe 19 when they didn't show up for spring stuff. I think it was 19. And now we fast forward to this where you hear Robert Saleh talking to the player. You have this Deshaun Watson stuff happening. We've already been through the Jacksonville stuff. Minkah Fitzpatrick, again, forced to trade out of there. Le'Veon Bell, Jamal Adams, right? And so you want to talk about getting it. And, again, I think it's very important to say this. While the coach, if I was sitting here with Nick Saban and Urban Meyer talking about college, or Ryan Day or Dabo Swinney, and I said this to them, they'd want to punch me in the face.
Yeah.
But I fully believe deep down it is all about the coach at the college level. It's about that $10 million coach who's building the CEO kind of approach to their program. And, yes, they are in it for the player. I'm not trying to say it's not. But the bottom line is we look at a college program, we look at the coach. We don't look at the 36th guy on the roster, right?
Yeah.
In the NFL, Urban Meyer is still a very big deal. He's going to get paid handsomely to be the big deal. He's going to be that CEO. But we care way more about Trevor Lawrence. We care way more about James Robinson, Miles Jack, DJ Chark, and those guys than I think has a feel of it in college. And so I think that's a transition thing for Urban Meyer to understand that. Yeah. And I think what he showed last Friday to me is he did understand that. It was like he was talking to the player to say, hey, we're going to push these guys, but we're going to give them the best. Take a listen to what Urban Meyer said. This is just one of the clips from last week.
Well, I believe everything is. There's a one way that people who work for me, with me, they'll hear a statement that, is this the best of the best? And if it's not, then the question is, well, why? And that's the same thing I'm doing on every time I walk through everywhere. We did that at Ohio State. We did that at Florida. Is this the very best? And if it's not, then especially when you start talking about player welfare and safety and then just the players. And if it's not the very best, let's have a chat and do what's very best. Because, the Jacksonville players are going to get pushed. They're going to get pushed. In return, we give them the very best. That includes the coaching staff. Number one, the coaching staff. Does a big hot tub much different than a small, have that much of a difference? I didn't say that, but I just want to make sure it's the best of the best. And Shad is very committed to that. as well as this organization. But that's something that it's hard for me to answer right now, but I think within months you might see or hear things that we're doing the very best we can for our players.
Well, and that question was about facilities, by the way. So, and that's where the context of that came from. But how many times did he just say best for the players, best for the players, best for the players?
Sure.
You know, I think he understands that. And again, I think he did that at Ohio State and Florida, too. I think he tried to get the best for the players. That's why they have big facilities.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying from the perception standpoint, it still, in my opinion, is all about the coach in the college game. It's not like that in the NFL. And I think that will feel different to Urban Meyer. I like the start, though, that he understands that at the NFL level. And by the way, it's probably the biggest shift this organization has to make. I just gave you a reference to 2019, man. Mm-hmm. That was less than 2 years ago when Tom Coughlin said, I don't care if it's voluntary OTAs. We need 100% participation.
Yeah.
That is totally different than the tone Urban Meyer just took last Friday.
Sure, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, you're absolutely right. I would say the Patriots are always the outlier, right? Because I think it was more about Belichick. Because you see some of his players, what they went on to do at other places. It wasn't. I mean, now Tom Brady's the man, obviously, but everybody else, to me, it was the Bill Belichick show. But you're absolutely right. And Urban Meyer understands that. And I think the fact that he is taking care of his players, quote unquote, shows that. But I like what Urban Meyer is doing because we've heard this a couple times now. And we hear him talk about the best of the best for the players. And I'm actually going to quote something from one of my favorite animes because this reminds me of something from that show. And it's from the Law of Equivalent Exchange. To obtain something of equal value must be lost and sacrificed. Urban Meyer is going to put up the best of the best and the best. And that is going to be the prize. That's going to be like, that gets you to the door, right? It's like, dang, check out whatever, these hot tubs. Check out, the food that we're eating. Like, we're getting taken care of. But something must be lost to obtain that. And what you're going to give up to get that stuff will happen on the football field.
Yeah.
Okay? It'll happen during practice. It'll happen during OTAs and training camps. So in a way, he's taking care of the players. He's showing that he appreciates them, and that's what players want more than anything sometimes. But in another way, he's building a culture at the exact same time. It's genius.
Yeah, but it's a great understanding of what needs to go on. Because I say this, when I tweeted that quote out, the part of that quote where it says, we're going to push our players, but we got to give them the best. Mm-hmm. I remember Colin Johnson, 10 minutes later, liked the tweet. Mm-hmm. And because my point in that is players like to be held accountable. Competitors like to compete and be pushed to their absolute best. Not everybody, but at that level, they certainly do. Mm-hmm. They do want to be catered to. They do want the best of the best. They like to go home in their Ferrari if they can. Yeah. They like the cool locker room and the good food. But they also want to get the best and maximize their potential. That's what makes a 1% athlete, in my opinion. But that's also a little bit human nature if you like to compete. Mm-hmm. Think about it this way. If I tell, like, Kaylee, I say, Kaylee, we're gonna do some speed and agility stuff, with a guy like in the area that coaches that up.
Specializes.
Hates going.
Yeah.
Absolutely hates it.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, I'm not going. Right?
Yeah.
And then so she ends up going because make her go or whatever. And it's not like she says, I love that at the end of the day, but she did it and didn't complain at the end. You know why? Because it's like me going for a run. Mm-hmm. I hate the idea of going for a run. But on the day that I hate the idea of going for a run, when I went for the run, I come back, I feel good.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that's exactly what you're kind of talking about. That's kind of like the mentality of a human in a sense where you don't like the idea of getting pushed out of that football field, of really having to do all the things you're about to do with Joe Cullen and everything on that field, right? And getting yelled at and the details. But when you're finished with it, you appreciate it.
If you buy into it.
You got to buy it.
There's going to be some guys that aren't going to buy into it.
That's fair enough, too.
Yeah.
There's always some that don't.
Yeah.
But to maximize the best, you have to buy. You normally have to buy any of that, or you're just super gifted.
Sure, no, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
And that does exist as well. So I just find like the mentality of that, the psychology of that is interesting.
Yeah.
And I think Urban's doing a good job laying that foundation. Again, and I think it's important in this context, in a place that most recently did not feel like it was for the player.
No, for sure.
Right?
Yeah. And basically just what I'm trying to say, and I guess this is me kind of talking to the youngest team right now in the NFL. When Urban Meyer says these things, like you're getting the state-of-the-art stuff, yes, you're excited as you should be excited. But what you may not understand and what you're going to learn very quickly is that comes with a price.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a price of the effort that you put in. Just like to win a Super Bowl, That comes at a price, and that price is paid long before the playoffs, long before the regular season. That price must be paid in the offseason and in OTAs and in training camp.
Yeah, I think, and hey, you know why it worked in New England, and we know why it works at the big-time programs in college? Because at the end of the day, usually there's a lot of W's attached to it.
Sure.
Right? There's success attached to it. People are getting the most out of their potential, all those things.
Well, yeah.
And like you told me, we were talking about Joe Cullen yesterday, right? You said Terrence Knighton.
Yeah.
It was like great hire.
Yeah.
And you even said, you were kind of like, hey, it's kind of funny because he hated playing for Cullen at times.
Oh,
like,
we all did.
right? You all did.
Yeah.
But then years later, you appreciate it, right?
Yeah.
You appreciate, and now Knighton's coaching.
Yep.
And so he's doing the things that Cullen was preaching.
And I'm sure he's doing exactly the stuff that Joe was teaching him.
It's a fascinating psychology, but one that's probably needed in Jacksonville. I know I'm kind of belaboring this point, but the fact – see, Meyer's talking to the players that are here, the players that someday will be here, but he's also sitting there talking to his owner too. And, hey, just like we discussed, we need to do better internally for our players.
Yeah.
We need to do better facility-wise. We need to do better food and health and all this stuff-wise. We need to change this whole thing.
Yes.
So that message was not for the fans. Sometimes opening news conferences was for the fans.
Yeah.
I took it, Meyer, especially in that moment, but a lot of times during that news conference last week, that message was for the players that will someday be a part of the Jags organization, and also just to clamp home and put an exclamation point on what he had discussed with Shad Khan. This is how we're going to change it.
But also the fact that you see the blueprints going up already, the fact that and Urban Meyer understands this. Now, he hasn't coached a game in the NFL yet, but I feel like he already understands this. One of the hardest things to do in this league is have sustained success.
Yes.
Every team can get lucky. Every once in a while, the stars can align, and you can have a miracle season, let's call it.
Like the Jags
Let's
did.
call it 2017. Let's call that a miracle season. But it's harder to have that sustained success. And players, like, listen, whether you're in college, whether you're in high school, I don't care how old you are. But when you're in the pros, there's a fine balance between obviously busting your you-know-what in training camp and being like, man, this is overkill, right? But as long as you win, and as long as you have sustained success year after year, there's a method to the madness. You see the results. You know that I got to pay this price because I've been here before. Like I've seen it work. I've seen the success, so I got to buy in again. 2017, you had guys buy in, but what happened after it? Oh, I got it. Like the reins were lightened up a little bit, and you saw what happened. The team fell by the wayside. 1 year, flash in the pan, and then we called you overrated, and we called you as a fluke. What Urban Meyer, I think, understands more than anything right now is the fact that this isn't a one-year thing. Like, you may come out and you may win 8 games, may win 9 games, or heck, you may win 3 or 4 games. Who knows? But he understands that to build this thing requires sustained success.
Well, you know what's interesting as you bring that up, too, I go back to 2017, and we have talked about this quite a bit, but there was almost like a mutiny in that locker room after training camp, right? I mean, they were ready to just revolt. They were.
No, I know. I'm laughing because I know.
And then,
I'm
then
aware.
they beat Houston and went and whooped their butt,
Yes.
right? And they're like, okay, well, maybe that was worth it. So that's a little bit of what you're talking about, right?
Yep.
Don't mind being pushed. Just give me what's on the other side of it.
Yep.
Well, okay, that works through 2017. When you win and things are good, it's like, yeah, we're turning the corner. It was worth all that. It was worth all that. We were pushed. Practices were tough. Great. Well, let me take you to 2018. And I just wonder if this is a little bit a part of it. What changed from 2017 to 2018 internally for the Jags? Did they get a new locker room out of that? Did they get a new hot tub out of that? Did they get a better plane with more roomy seats out of that? Did they with all that investment from the player, was there anything different in 2018 than 17? No, the only thing they did get was a lighter training camp, right? And obviously that didn't work. But I'm just saying, like, did they have enough internally to give back to the player, right, to sustain the success, to be like, hey, we still got to give them these shiny toys. We've got to show them improvement. There's investment in here. Was there any more? And by the way, this is not to criticize Shad Khan too much because he had already invested in the locker room and the weight room and all these things.
Yeah.
But I just wonder, was there enough there to show the players, see, for that effort, we're getting this? I mean, is there a little bit of that with the NFL player?
See, I look back at 2017 and the fun that was had on that team, right? What I think happened more than anything, and like, yeah, maybe you should have gave him some shiny new toys, but like, nothing compares. I don't care how state-of-the-art of crap you put in that locker room. Nothing compares to that moment when you beat the Steelers. in Pittsburgh. And then that plane ride home, and then, you come back to the stadium to a bunch of adoring, cheering fans saying we're going to the Super Bowl, and Jalen Ramsey's doing his thing. Like, nothing you can buy compares to that moment. And what I think happened from that moment to 2018, it was almost like they were the Lost Boys and then they became Peter Pan, where they forgot. They forgot, like, how special that was. And when they were in training camp, for whatever reason, the reins were loosened up a little bit, and they thought that they had it, and they think, yeah, we can get back to there. But you got to remember the price that you paid in the first place.
Yeah.
And they forgot all about that, and then they expected the same results, and you didn't get that. So, like, listen, whether that's on the coaches, the players, maybe a combination of both, like, the coach's job as the leader is to remind them, like, hey, guys, we were literally one play away from going to the Super Bowl. And do you remember, like, how you felt when you left New England? You remember how devastated you were? You remember the tears that you cried walking off that field when we saw them firsthand with the players? You remember that feeling when we beat Pittsburgh and how excited we were? Like, nothing's going to match that moment. So let's go ahead and try to get back to that moment and get even a better moment going to the Super Bowl. I feel like that wasn't reiterated enough.
Well, and just to bring it full circle here about the college game, that's exactly what happens in college. And while some people may go away from that team, what did Ohio State do all year after losing to Clemson? They put it up on their video boards in their gym. They played that card. They said, hey, you don't find that in the NFL, right? No. It was almost like this sense of satisfaction because the Jags had done something that hadn't been done in a while.
Yeah. And it's on to the next one in the NFL.
It's just it's like at the elementary level of it sounds stupid. Like, you're listening to me, I'm like, really, Brent? Like, they won enough games, so go give them like another cookie? Yeah. Like, that's what get them a new what?
Yeah.
But in essence, you have to reward the players' efforts. You have to appreciate the players' efforts with more than words sometimes.
Sure.
And instead, it was probably just Tom Coughlin, let's go roll it back again and do it again.
Yeah.
And the dynamic in the Jags organization, again, someday we'll do the 30 for 30, but the dynamic was, I think they were starting to be a little bit less buy into the way things were done. Like, I don't care if we have to do this again to get here, but we don't want to do this again to be here.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I said, like, they must have forgot then. Because if you would have remembered those feelings of beating Pittsburgh, you would have went through it again. But somewhere along the lines, they forgot.
Yeah, so it broke off. But I think that stuff's fascinating. And keep in mind, I do think Urban Meyer majored in psychology.
Yeah. Did he really?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense when I hear him talk.
Yeah. And you can kind of sense he gets the mind of the player.
I love it, man. You need that.
I like it, too. I think there's a lot of good things going on here in Jacksonville. You know what else is good? 15 minutes from the weekend for you.
Let's go.
How about it?
Let's go. What about you? No, you got some most.
I got UNF hoop game tonight. I got some TV tonight.
ESPN Plus or not tonight?
ESPN Plus tonight.
Let's go.
Then Conor McGregor right after me tomorrow. We'll be back on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Periods of rain into this evening. Temperatures tonight will drop into the 50s and partly to mostly cloudy and cooler Saturday with highs only in the low to mid 60s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where you get the lowest diamond price guaranteed or your money back.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Hi, it's Phil with the Phil Aiken Home Team at Keller Williams. When it comes time to sell your home, put me and the Aiken Home Team to work for you. Here's why. Over the years, I've perfected the home selling system, putting the most money possible in your pocket. With my exclusive list of buyers in waiting, I may already have your buyer. And with thousands of buyers, I'm likely to create more demand and higher sales prices. I'll even guarantee to sell your home at a price agreeable to you, or I'll buy it myself. Don't just take it from me. Let me introduce actual clients, Lynn and Craig. Tell us about your home selling experience.
We were immediately at ease. We had a great deal of confidence that any questions we had or anything that we needed to learn about the process was going to be handled in an expert and professional way.
We sold our home in just 2 days for $3,500 more than list price. Anyone who wants to sell needs to call Phil Aiken Home Team.
Thanks for sharing. The number to call is 904-500-PHIL. That's 904-500-7445. Or visit philhasthebuyers.com.
Nothing is certain except death and taxes. And your appliance is breaking down as soon as they're out of warranty. At Atlantic Coast Appliance, we can't help with the first two, but we've got the third one covered. Our factory-trained and certified technicians have been repairing appliances for more than 35 years, with a 90-day warranty on parts and labor and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. For quality repair at a price that's fair, trust Atlantic Coast Appliance. AtlanticCoastAppliance.com. That's AtlanticCoastAppliance.com.
Support local businesses, get discounted golf, and how about some free stuff? It's the Dream 18 card on ESPN690.com. Discounted golf at Southampton, Osprey Cove, Eagle Landing, Queens Harbor, Amelia River, St. John's Golf and Country Club, Hidden Hills, and Fleming Island Golf Club. And you heard the word free. How about a free smoothie from Smoothie King, free shirt from Baker Sports, and a free hat from Dome Hats, plus other local business discounts. Save hundreds of dollars, all for $95. It's the Dream 18 card on ESPN690.com.
No matter what you're driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of Fields Auto Group's dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group stores in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit FieldsAuto.com.
Home Builders Institute is a national leader for career training in the building industry and provides students the skills and experience they need for successful careers. HBI training programs are taught in local communities across the country to youth, veterans, displaced workers, and other underserved populations. These programs do more than just provide job skills. They also build character and self-esteem, helping to provide students with the skills they need to succeed on the job and in life. Learn more at hbi.org.
After a car accident, you can feel like you've lost control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar & Levine. Our team can help you understand your legal options after an accident. We will file your claim and fight for the full compensation you deserve. If you've been involved in a car accident, call the law offices of Anajar & Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
By now, you already know the sound of my voice and how much I call out shoddy AC work. So if you're in the business, you're either angry about it or you'd secretly love to come work for me. Well, I'm looking to hire some world-class AC installation techs because Griffin Service only hires the best. And just so we're clear, if you wouldn't rather starve than do turd bucket work, don't call. If you're great with the equipment, but only so-so with customers, you ain't our Huckleberry either. See, you and I both know how an AC is installed is even more important than what's installed. And companies that rush their installers end up cheating their customers out of the performance they're paying for. So if you're tired of doing rip and replace installs that shortchange the customer, or of being an A player surrounded by shortcut taking schmucks, and you want to be paid top dollar plus bonuses, all while working for a family first company, email Tom at griffinservice.com.
License number 1250697.
Hey boss, check this out. You're never home alone and you're never away from home with Safe Touch.
What now? Never home alone. Now that one I get. It's because of the two-way communicator.
Yup. Any emergency and you're talking with the operator in seconds.
Right. Never home alone. Yeah, but what about this never away from home thing?
See, with Safe Touch's smart home automation, you can control your house from anywhere.
What, is it that smartphone thingy again?
Yeah, with the Safe Touch app, you can check your camera feeds, turn on the lights, drop the AC down, lock the doors. Boss, it's like you're there.
Never away from home. Never home alone, never away from home. This changes nothing. I still hate Safe Touch, and we still gotta stick to the Crooks or Us golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. I need an aspirin.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Are you a golfer? Is someone you love a big golfer? Are your clients or customers golfers? If so, you must right now get the best golf cart in Jacksonville. It's a discount card for 8 premier courses, and as a bonus with this exclusive golf card, you receive free things like from Smoothie King, a free smoothie, a free hat from Dome Hats, a free shirt from Baker Sports. It's only $95, but quantities are limited. Go to ESPN690.com to see all the details. Save hundreds of dollars at ESPN690.com with a Dream 18 card.
Transmission problems? Call Action Transmission Specialists on Merrill Road, where you get the work done right the first time by the experts. I'm Robin Sidbury, the owner. Our techs can service all makes and models, and we provide a nationwide warranty, so you have the peace of mind knowing we solve your transmission troubles fairly and honestly and guaranteed nationwide. Call us at Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road, where quality counts. Get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
The United States has the highest rate of incarceration in the world. At the Equal Justice Initiative, we believe mass incarceration has to end. There is this presumption of dangerousness and guilt that gets assigned to Black and brown people. We have to confront our history of racial injustice and commit to a new era of truth. There's something better waiting for us, something that feels more like freedom. Truth can inspire change. Please learn more at EJI.org.
Nothing is certain except death and taxes. And your appliance is breaking down as soon as they're out of warranty. At Atlantic Coast Appliance, we can't help with the first two, but we've got the third one covered. Our factory-trained and certified technicians have been repairing appliances for more than 35 years, with a 90-day warranty on parts and labor and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. For quality repair at a price that's fair, trust Atlantic Coast Appliance. AtlanticCoastAppliance.com. That's AtlanticCoastAppliance.com.
Shopping pre-owned? Then go see our friends at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned, where over 400 like-new pre-owned vehicles are on the lot waiting for you. Worried about your credit? Arlington's got you covered with their Credit for Everyone program. If your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, almost everyone is approved. And with Arlington's 30-day exchange policy, you get 30 days to love it or exchange it for total buying confidence. Get everything you want and more, and come see the brand new facility at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
My NFL MVP is Russell Wilson halfway through the season. Plus, like Kyler Murray, has impressed me most, Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Brent Martineau.
All right, Jason Fitz, thanks for checking in, man. We didn't try to keep you too long today. We gave you a shorter day.
Austin Lane.
Hey, Jason, real quick, man, since you have that Bowen-McCough award, since you can, vote on that, Murray State's got a couple good receivers. Now, they didn't play this year, okay? They didn't play a game this year, but Murray State's got a couple good receivers. Just check them out real quick.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
This is what I truly believe about Tom Brady, is that if he wins, and he says, I just want to go live life. Like, living life to him is playing football. Like, he loves it. He absolutely loves it. He'd rather do football than anything else in this world other than probably be with his family. He said that since day one. I remember as a young rookie coming in, and I was doing something like there was, they offered one of these internship classes that I could do and going into my second year, and I went and did it. And I coming back, and he's like, what are you doing? Why aren't you studying your playbook? And I said, I did this real estate class that they offered, and he goes, Castle, if you don't dedicate 100% to what you're doing at this job, then you won't be here for very long. This is the best job in the world, and you need to put everything that you have into it so that you can be successful and play it for as long as you can, and that's always been his approach. And so even if he wins the Super Bowl this year, I can see he's always said, I want to play until I'm 45.
Kuz says 70% chance we can't guess who that is.
I also didn't listen to the audio, and he said his own name.
I know. What did he say, though?
You missed it.
I was kind of halfway listening.
Hang on one second. Let me type in one thing real quick. Is it Cody Kessler? Because he said Kessler, didn't he?
It is. No.
He said
I'm so glad that.
Oh, Matt Castle.
Yeah.
Castle.
Come on.
How wouldn't I got that?
All right, well, that's a point for me. I'm crushing you today, by the way.
Kuz, you could have gone.
Sonnen.
If you didn't know who that. If he didn't say his own name, you could have gone 99%. We weren't getting that.
I was convinced, and then I heard him say his name, and I went, oh.
Like, what's Matt Castle doing? Is he still playing? Is he a backup somewhere?
I don't know.
Seriously, like, we should do a game, Name the Backup.
Yeah.
Because, like, who would have guessed Matt Schaub was still playing up until this past year?
That's a good point. It's a dang good point.
I mean, up until like a month ago.
Matt Brennan Castle. That's his middle name. Last year was 2018 with the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
Not sure what he's doing now.
Calling into ESPN shows.
Calling into ESPN shows.
Did you say you saw somewhere? I haven't been as active on social media today on Twitter, but which is unusual. Did you say Luke McCown for the Houston Texans job might be rumored about?
Listen, in a ploy to make me just have a great weekend and look at Texans Twitter, the Texans now are interviewing. Is it Luke or Josh? Josh McCown.
I'm sorry, Josh. McCown. My bad.
What's up, Luke?
Luke threw 4 interceptions against the Jets and gave us Blaine Gabbert early.
Oh, okay. Well, he's still a good guy.
He is,
I enjoy playing with him. Yeah, I know. Hey,
so do we hate him
there, sir. Did
So
I hate him?
No, are we supposed to hate him for doing that?
Brent sounds like he does.
I don't hate him for it, but I mean, it's partly his fault.
Okay, got you. Did you lose some money that game or something? You have some stakes in that game?
I was there for that game, though.
Okay.
I don't know if it's 4 interceptions or 3.
Try being on the field for that game and see how that pans out, Brent.
Actually, I might have been on the field
that was
doing the microphone on the sidelines.
That was a game that we weren't supposed to lose like that, let's just say.
No, it wasn't.
No.
Jets weren't very good then.
Have they been in
they've had a year or two, but that wasn't one of them. Like,
wasn't supposed to be one of them, yeah.
We've had some miserable games against the Jets, I think, here in Jacksonville because, or at the
I've never been in New York
at
team.
MetLife because Marquise Lee, remember he dropped that third down, or that could have led to a win.
And then the one where Doug Marone went for 2, that was kind of the curse.
Well, that was here.
That
was a win.
Yeah, but that was the curse.
That was the curse game.
Curse game.
We've got a Super Bowl special coming up in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
and one of the stories I want to do is the Jags tied to the Jets.
Yeah.
Obviously because they are now with the Trevor Lawrence stuff.
Well, you know what? And I don't feel sorry for him because if they would have kept me on that team, I would have had some sage at the end of that game. I would have went to that sage, went to the end zone where you would have been like, oh, good vibes. Please, gods, help us out here.
Yeah, we brought the sage in here before. With all eyes on the Texans head coaching search, the team conducted interviews today with former NFL head coach Jim Caldwell, longtime NFL QB Josh McCown.
Do it.
I mean, they are. If they put the job on Craigslist, do you think people would be interested?
I mean,
is Craigslist still a thing, guys?
Yeah, they're still a thing.
Yeah.
They are? Okay.
Or it's still a thing, yeah.
I'm sure there is. Yeah.
Is there like a new thing? It's like eBay, then Craigslist. Is there a new thing?
There's an app, right?
Well, there's like Facebook Marketplace.
Swip Swap? I think that's what it's called.
Swip Swap. I've heard of that.
Yeah, there's Facebook Marketplace.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like Craigslist is kind of a dying commodity.
I do too. I feel like I'm outdating myself here a little bit with
man,
Craigslist.
It's not like you said MapQuest or something. You're all right, man. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah, like what's the other one that was before Facebook?
MySpace.
MySpace. I almost said what the old people say all the time, like Space.
Could you imagine, though?
Did you have MySpace?
I didn't.
But could you imagine, though, if MySpace was still a thing? Like, we go back and we look at, like, the last things Allen Robinson liked. We could be like, oh, my gosh, he made Urban Meyer in his top 8 friends.
I'll tell you what, man, if you go back to my MySpace page, I might be grounds for dismissal here on the show, so let's not talk about going back in time and seeing each other's MySpace pages. Yeah,
I don't feel like flying solo.
You ain't trying to see my top 8, man. All that riffraff that was going on. Those MySpace pages.
How surprised? What do you seriously think about Josh McCown, who's never coached? I mean, I know he's done some high school stuff, but come on, to the Texans. I mean, is that really a thing? Could that work?
I'm gonna be honest, Brent. When we have the narratives that you're bringing in former NFL quarterback Josh McCown, whose only experience is coaching high school, and we have Eric Bieniemy still just sitting on the sidelines, twiddling his thumbs, if you will. To me, it makes the Houston Texans look bad. But they have no problem doing that, so you all just keep on doing that, and I'll keep reading your mentions. I mean, it's a joke, I think.
It is nothing to do with Josh McCown. I mean, in fact, people say unbelievable things about him. I think wasn't it the Eagles? Was he with the Eagles this year? Coos, his backup? One of the backups?
Yeah, I thought they did. The Texans trade for him, though? Like, I thought he was on the Eagles, but then ended up on the Texans.
Well, either way, they set up this thing, though, where he could go do the high school stuff and fly back in. Like, it was one of those situations.
So the last team that Josh McCown, good call, Coos, is on the Texans.
So he was on the Texans.
It says 2020 to present. You know how up-to-date Wikipedia is.
I didn't even realize he was on the Texans.
Is this like a space? Is he still playing? It says active.
Yeah, I don't think he's
retired. So this is like a Space Jam situation? He's going to coach and play?
But I think he had one of I don't think he's going to do that, but I think he did have one of those situations where he could go fly back on Fridays to like be with whatever team he was helping coach.
Yeah.
It was one of those weird deals. But I mean, so that is I mean, you want to get people talking. You hire Josh McCown instead of offering the job. You have to be turned down by Eric Bieniemy before you offer the job to Josh McCown, right?
I think you have to be turned down by a lot of people before you offer the job to Josh McCown.
Well, I mean, from a minority standpoint, they did interview Jim Caldwell today as well.
No, but I'm just saying, like, if you bring on Josh McCown and he's the best candidate, like, you want to talk about a risk? Like, forget the college coaches coming on over to the pros. That's a risk, man.
Yeah. Who are these? Some of these guys that are getting hired. I mean, Campbell out of nowhere, the Indianapolis guy to Philly. They're not going to ever fill the Houston job. I think.
Hey, here's the fun fact about Josh McCown. You know where he's from? Jacksonville, Texas.
North Carolina or Texas?
There's a Jacksonville, Texas.
There's a Jacksonville, North Carolina, too.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Jacksonville, Texas, for people listening at home, it has a population of 14,544.
It's like Ashland, right? I'd never heard of Ashland before. Ashland.
Any excuse to put Ashland on the map.
Then there's an Ashland, Maine. There's an Ashland, Kentucky. There's an Ashland, Massachusetts, believe it or not.
And no one could care less about any of them.
Except for the Ashland University.
Oh, gotcha. Is that one dude still playing, that tight end? Shaheen? Right?
Yeah, Shaheen.
Where's he at?
He had okay. It was Miami. Still a little ticked off. The Dolphins didn't. I mean, Jags didn't go after him.
Okay, you say okay. I can't wait to bring up the Adam Shaheen numbers.
Go
when
ahead,
we come back.
real quick.
All right.
Come back, dude. We're done.
Oh, that's right, man.
Coming back on Monday.
I mean, should we just let it marinate towards the weekend? Hang on, Kuz. How much time we got?
You're going to have less than 30 seconds.
All right, live, local, loud coming up next.
You want to segue out of this. So he's got 12 receptions, 3 touchdowns.
That's a pretty good ratio.
12 receptions all last season, but that's okay.
That's like
That's
like Hootie's tweets
That's
today.
okay.
It's a
And
good ratio.
Yeah, I'm sure it's like some kind of punt fake 2 or something they did. Whatever, Brent.
That'll be a UNF game against Kennesaw on ESPN Plus tonight. Plus CBS 47 and Fox 30. Have a good weekend, guys.
You have a great weekend.
Hi, it's Brian Kilmeade for Phil Aiken Home Team Keller Williams Realty. I'm talking with Greg and Gary about their recent home sale. Why did you call Phil Aiken?
We called Phil Aiken because we had heard that his team will sell your house quickly and for more money than any of the other realtors in town.
Tell us what happened.
Phil Aiken and his A-team, they will make the process very easy. Sold in 4 days and got over asking.